What's the deal, my people? You know, this is Don Tony Teflon. I'm here again with LMR. She is back and
I'm
everything.
back.
What is going on? How are you?
Tony, another day. I needed today. I needed to be here today to make me feel better. So
Yeah,
awesome, awesome. Every time. I'm sure it's the same thing for people who are in the chat. So
yeah. I'm glad you're here. Happy to have you back as always. Where's Phil? We're missing Phil. We need Phil.
hmm,
Hopefully, he shows up in a little bit and stuff. You
yeah,
know, it's always better when Phil is around. And hopefully,
exactly.
let's say what up to people who are joining us here, talking about our favorite show from. Let's say what up. We got Dr. Deb is in the building rocking with us right now. Jen is up in here rocking with us right now. Oh, keep go. Katie Joe is up in here. Oh, 8 Cali is in here. Nina is in the building rocking with us. Nisa, Nisa Nice is up in this building. Chris is up in here. She does the most is up in here. Drunk Bishop is up in here. Legal Mods is up in here. My sister Colette is in the building rocking with us right here. Prime is in there. Is my sister right here. Shorty Pooh is in the building rocking with us. A bunch of people, man. We got so many people, man. I really appreciate everybody who comes out here. And if I didn't shout you out, I will in a little bit. I promise you. Again, we're here every Wednesday. You know, we're here every Wednesday. Don will be here every Wednesday talking about this show, our favorite show, from and everything else. And again, since LMR is in the building, you know what that means. And now we are ready to begin, almost ready to begin, because as always, we must hit our intro from the one, the only Carla Way. Hit it, girl. So glad she was able to do that for us and everything else. It's just the great best version of this song, sung by Carla
Yeah.
Way. With that show. All right, so we haven't had a chance to talk to you again, ask questions. We'll open
hmm
up the phone lines in a little bit if y'all want to talk about. Haven't asked you about the trailer. You've seen the full trailer. What did
I
you think of it?
have. I have. It's so exciting. I actually rewatched it again um, before we went live, and I love. I cannot wait. All the things in there. It has everything: chaos, blood, confusion, mystery, horror. I just want to watch it already. Like the whole thing. I want to binge it. Of course, we can't binge it because I would have if I could, but yeah, we gotta wait.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with the trailer.
hmm
You know, the teaser trailer was good, and I think they did a better job with the regular trailer and everything else. Dr. Dead is saying, "Great to see you, LMR." LMR hasn't been around; she's been busy and stuff like that. So it's great that
Bit
she's
busy.
back and stuff and all that. So yeah, so when dealing with the trail, we know the wheelbarrow. We never got your opinion. Who do you feel is the dead person in the wheelbarrow?
Oh, um, gosh. At first, I was thinking it's one of the Matthews family
Mm-hmm.
people, especially this. Oh gosh. Oh my God, her name is just escaping me. The daughter,
Julie.
Julie. Julie, of course. Because I'm thinking, stuff is happening, and then her brother is sitting in the playground by himself. So I'm thinking, okay, somebody died from his family. Like this kid would never be by himself. And then the church thing, the boy is going up there. I didn't pay attention to who's sitting at the church, but maybe this is like a farewell to somebody over there. Although I've never seen them hold a service like that inside. Maybe it's because it's cold. Yeah, somebody from his family, maybe.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think that it has to be Kenny's mother.
Oh, Kenny's mother, yeah, because
Yeah,
he's sitting at the bar too, like all angry at throwing stuff at the thing,
yeah.
right?
It's hard not to think it's her. If it's
Mm.
not her, it would be shocking to me because of everything that there. Number one, it's Jade is pulling the cart with Boyd. So
Mm.
to me, that means Jade don't care about a lot of people. So he wouldn't just do that for anybody.
True,
Cares about
true.
Kenny's mother because he lives with Kenny's mother and Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny's in the front row of the funeral.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. See, okay, okay,
And
got it now.
yeah, he's in the
That makes
front,
sense.
so that's why it would either be him, Chrissy, or Kenny's mom, but we could see from the hair sitting next to Kenny that more looks like Christy's hair than
Darker.
Kenny's
It's
hair.
darker this season, right? But darker
Yeah,
and shorter. Yeah.
so we'd have to assume all those things combined. I have to
I
think
see
it's
that.
that.
Yeah.
Now the one
Mm-hmm.
the point of contention would be how did she die? Do they drag her off to the barn and she's the one in the barn getting tortured that Boyd is looking in on and stuff? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So
Not her
that is
sound though, right? That
huh?
I mean, the way the screams are taking place, or the way they're sounding, it does not remind me of her though.
Yeah, it
The
could be a deep fake with the
screaming.
scream, and they just
Mm,
replace the scream of someone that's going to
okay.
happen with a
True.
scream
That
early.
they do that too.
You know what I mean? So because they don't want to
Yeah.
give it away.
Yeah.
So they do a deep fake, or it may
Hmm.
not even be someone in there screaming at the time. It could be that's not even a scene. It could be two different scenes, and it could be
Yeah.
somebody
They
else.
combined
You know
it.
what I mean? And Boyd's talking to it. It may not even. So they're tricky with those things. You got to
Yeah.
watch it with those guys and their things. They're always trying to trick
Yeah,
people.
and I like how they're not obvious because it would be so easy if if it was just laid out for us. What fun would it be? There would be
Exactly.
no. They're like, oh, okay, I guess we're gonna see that, and whenever. This is great that the confusion and all
Yeah,
theories coming
if
up.
it was all just laid
Yeah.
out for you in
Hmm.
one thing, then it would just be a terrible thing.
Yeah.
That's why when people complain, like we definitely need some answers, right? There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it. We definitely need something to jump. You got to give us something. Though they give enough stuff, but people want every answer in one season. That's not fun. Just give me a little bit, but to give me one definite, like give me one definite answer
Yeah.
this season, and I would be
That
happy.
puzzle piece, right? So
Yeah,
you
just
can
give me,
try piecing something, not like take away more and make it, larger at a larger scale, but some kind of a piece of a puzzle, like they said.
yeah,
Just has to
just,
fit.
yeah, just something solid, concrete that we're going to deal
Yeah.
with this season, and I would definitely be happy with that. Let me see if I have pictures of everything up, and we can go through some pictures and stuff like that. Let's see. That way, it may be easier if we
Hmm.
do it. This, that window. Go with this one. All right, you can see that, right?
Yep.
It seems like it's for me.
Alrighty.
Oh, I know why, because it's just showing the screen. For some reason it's small on this screen, but that works for
Hmm.
me. All right, we can do it. All right. So again, when we start with the first picture, I think the
Hmm.
number one thing we look at this picture that we can see is that make sure it's not. Oops, my bad. What did I do? Went away. It's over. Where is it? Here. All right. There. And the number one thing we can see is that when we look at this foot here, is that
Yeah.
this foot is smaller than this shoe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's a small foot, I guess, from that angle. It's not a big foot. Well,
Asian people got small feet too.
mm,
Asian people got tiny feet. They,
yeah.
so and it looks a little, Asian color. We don't want to see yellow or anything like that, but it looks a little Asian color to it. But it looks beat down the foot, like it
Hmm.
looks like it's really like ripped open and everything else like that. It doesn't look like it does look like someone fell and broke your leg and your foot came out. It's gruesome. It's not just like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of going on with this person's foot
Could
that
that be the foot in that bear trap? I didn't pay attention to that part, to the pants or the kind of shoe that stepped
so
in there, but I'm
if this
curious
see if this
which
is
foot fell into that and what were they wearing?
no if this is the one that has all the I don't know if I have it. I should
Well,
have the
it should
bed
be here
trap,
now. Yeah, in a moment.
but I may not.
Mm.
This may be the one I didn't take the
Oh,
pictures of
okay.
the bed trap. Look through, skim through real quick.
Sure. Again, I did not pay close attention to that.
Um, no, I don't have the
Mm,
picture of the bear trap. But what it does look like to
yeah.
me when I look at the bear trap, it looks like it's Chrissy that's caught in the bear trap because it looks like a boot almost
Mm-hmm.
that's in there. And the only one who had now the injuries you're saying would be suffered from someone in the bear trap. But if you look at Chrissy, if I could zoom in here, and you look at her boots right
Mm-hmm.
here that she's rocking, those are the same boots right here that are in the bear trap. That one.
Okay. Okay.
So it's mostly it's got to be her that's rocking inside that bear trap. Unfortunately for our girl, it looks like she's gonna be the one to get caught in the bear
Mm.
trap when it's all said and done. Jim just asking stupid questions. All right, we got the food problem and everything. How do you think that the food shortage is going to affect the people this season?
Well, I mean, we as humans cannot eat grass, right, or tree leaves or anything like that. So that's going to be something. And it's winter, so what can that is scary. And we know people can live quite a long time without food. I mean, again, I don't know, like at least couple weeks, right? More than that,
Mm-hmm.
probably couple months per se, because we all have a lot of people have fat as
You think it
energy
could be
storage. So
result to cannibalism? You think that would happen?
um, at some point, I'm not saying. I mean, yeah, I mean it happened in the past in real life. So I don't see why they would. I don't know if they will do that though. I don't know if they're gonna go that route. Um, if they would, I mean, it may be just a different kind of show, more of like a survival versus mystery. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, this is mystery and sci-fi mystery versus survival per se, with the
Mm-hmm.
elements of that they're in. Um, I don't think they're gonna go that way. I mean, if they go, that's great. I mean, love the drama, but I don't know what the point of it would be. It's already scary to think there's no food. It's
Yeah, I
scary
think
enough.
I think the thing about the food that that should be touched upon is that Dinah said that nothing will grow in the soil anymore.
Mm.
Right, so they're trying to grow food, but she said it seems like the soil is
Huh.
poisonous,
Huh.
and they can't.
Yeah.
So it seems like something was allowing them to grow food, and now the
Yeah.
thing is not allowing them to grow food. So
Mm.
whatever is in control of this place also has control of even the ground itself,
Mm-hmm.
even what's going on there. Now it's
Yeah.
hard to think how could they put a poison in this ground and everything else, but we have to assume that they did something to the ground that won't allow food to be grown here anymore, and that they're taking things away from them that they once had. Now, again, I think it's that the people in charge of this are trying to make it look natural as
Mm-hmm.
they can instead of just coming in and wiping out. Now, why they would need to do that is a totally different situation, but it does seem like it's something going on with the soil, and the fact that it's going on with the soil leads
Yeah.
me to think that how can they just poison the whole ground? But we also seen the weather change.
Yeah. But
at the
also, they
drop
have
of
that greenhouse, right? So
Mhm.
technically, it's not just in the soil; it's in the pots that they have. So again, wasn't it something like that? Wasn't something like that mentioned already? That was in last season, right? It's not a part of the, or is it part of the trailer? I missed that. If it's part of the
I think
trailer.
it was both. I think
Okay.
last season she
Yeah.
was talking about it.
Yeah,
So
so
yes,
something about the greenhouse. I mean, who could have? I mean, the creatures. I don't see them going there. Pouring salt onto the soil or the
Mhm.
the pots that they have plants in. That's
Yeah,
mainly where they grow their food, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and mostly in the greenhouse. So yeah, so it would
Hmm.
so even if they did something to the ground, you would think that the soil they already pulled out of the ground
Right.
would be good, but that soil is also poisoned for some reason,
Hmm. Again,
which
maybe that's the reality they're being presented. Just it, making me think still more that it's more of a like a I guess simulation or something like that. That
it
I don't
seems like,
know.
I mean, when you look at
Yeah.
a lot of it, I mean, a lot of it could be explained in simulation, and a lot of it can
Mm,
be explained in dreams.
true.
If
Yeah.
someone has control, I mean, you've seen it in the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, that if someone is in a dream, they have control of every aspect of that dream, whether
Yeah.
it's the buildings or the floors or anything like that.
Yeah.
So if we are talking about this being a dream world, then yes, they can control the soil in the pot.
Hmm.
They can control the weather. They can make buildings fall down whenever they want buildings to fall
Hmm.
down,
Or
uh,
collapse on
or
themselves
collapse on
out of
themselves.
nowhere.
There's nothing that
Yeah.
they've done. You can have electricity without wires and everything else, but and it could all just be staged. If it's a dream world, which they've given proof that it could be. They've
Hmm.
mentioned it multiple times. You've had Boyd's wife mention it, that it was a dream. You had the guy that was locked up in the chains. He says, "What if Abby was right and it's all just a dream?" They show a bunch of dream catchers in the show all the time. They call the creatures the nightmare creatures, is what they're
Right.
listed as in IMDb.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a specific name, nightmare creature. They can call it any creature you
The
want.
monster or yeah, they can make some stuff up, but nightmare or
Uh-huh.
nightmare. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very specific.
So the fact that they're saying that, I mean, it leads. There's a good chance. I would tell people there's a good chance that this is some type of dream come true of Victor's. That Victor, and I'm telling people, I tell you, Victor is the big bad. Victor's behind this shit. Believe Victor's behind this whole thing, and he Victor is the boy in white. I believe Victor's the boy in white. He's behind this whole shit, and Jesus, I know people don't want to believe
Mhm.
it or anything else, but that's what they always bait and switch you. You know what I mean? They always bait. Oh, Victor's too dumb to be behind this, but
Yeah.
there could be another Victor. Because then I'll put it up to you, Eleanor, because I put it in my last video. Go check out my last video. I talk more about it. But who was in that book? Well, this is Victor's map.
Mhm.
He's looking for something that he buried.
Tree.
He buried
Something
something
there.
in this,
Yeah.
and he's trying to find out exactly, because the X is by this tree, and he's trying to find
Mhm.
something he's buried. And Victor's like, I need to remember, but he can't remember. That's his whole thing. You see him digging here by the tree, and what does he have to remember? That's the whole thing.
Hmm.
Like, what is the thing that you need to remember so much? All right, so we'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit about it. Let's talk about Tabitha in the real. So you see Tabitha
Mhm.
in the confessional with the pastor or priest or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
giving up the goods. So I think what possibly could be happening here is that she could be confessing to this guy everything that she happened to her in Fromville.
Hmm.
And oh, this happened. She feels guilty that she left the family, and I was transported to this place, and this, that, and the other, and everything else. And when you look at his face, he seems very interested in this whole situation. Like he seems like he heard this story before from this
Hmm.
expression. Not saying he did, but this expression. And if this is the case, it could be possible that he heard this story from Eloise, because the next shot we
Hmm.
see is Tabitha at this dude's house, and there's a bottle tree outside of this dude's
Hmm.
house. What do you think about this?
See, those scenes are a bit confusing
Uh-huh.
because they this house does not look like any of the houses, right, that were in Fromville.
Yeah,
Like
so she's
I don't.
definitely outside of Fromville.
Yeah, so it's exactly, definitely outside. So I wonder if she's just trying to piece everything together. um and just I am surprised that they let her out just like
Okay.
that. Like I don't
She
see
may.
anybody with her that looks formally with her versus just some dude
Mhm.
around there. um yeah,
She
it is strange.
she may have escaped. It
Hmm.
seemed, and I think there was a scene where they show her like by a car. It is like it was footage shot from the
Hmm.
set, and you see it like by a car. So it's quite possible she escapes the hospital and then goes to this guy's house. This guy who I believe that this is Victor's father. This guy,
Okay.
and that's why
Okay.
she wound up here. And then you see the bottle tree is outside the house
Mm-hmm.
there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The same bottle tree that we've seen. You transport you to the
The
lighthouse.
other one, yeah.
So my whole thing, and you
Hmm.
can tell me if you think I'm wrong. This is what I think happened. I think that Eloise chased after her mother. Her mother was going to the lighthouse. She ran into her mother. The guy with the puppet show was going to kill everybody.
Hmm.
He was coming. She took her Eloise, threw her in the bottle tree, wound up getting killed by this dude. Eloise makes it to the lighthouse. She makes it out. And then she's here. Now, what we have to think about is if she came home and then she made this bottle tree as a little kid saying, hey, the last time I see my
Hmm.
mother, it was a bottle tree. And maybe if I make one, she'll be able
Mm-hmm.
to come through it and come
Yeah.
back home.
That sounds feasible. That is something. And I'm just wondering, looking at this man over here, how much older is he from Victor? Victor is an
Yeah.
older.
So the
He's older,
actor,
but he's not like that
yeah,
gray.
the actor is 72 years old.
Okay. Okay, so
So,
he cannot be playing somebody much younger. So he
yeah.
should be around that. Okay.
He's old
Again,
enough.
yeah,
If he
he's
had
old
Victor
enough.
at 22, Victor's supposed to be 50 in the show.
Hmm.
So he would be old enough to be his father.
Hmm.
All right,
I wonder what this area is. It does look there in the background there. It does look like there may be trees. It's
there.
not middle of the city, so it could be somewhere in that area. Because when she was looking down from that window, it did look like, again, not a busy city, more like a town,
Yep.
and with lots of trees. So this could fit in there somewhere. And if she escaped, if Victor's sister escaped and says, maybe that's how they stayed there, where they decided to stay there in case Victor came back. Maybe uh, as a reason why the father, is still there,
There's people in see the
potentially.
council said he doesn't believe this is Victor's dad. So the guy is 72 years old. The actor who plays this, I looked it up. All right, on IMDb, they're 72, so he does fit the age. Again, if he had Victor at 22, Victor would be 50, and he would be 72. He could have had him earlier. It doesn't,
Hmm.
but so the age fits. So if the reason why you're not believing it's Victor's dad is because of the age, but let me just go to the next picture to further put the proof of why this is Victor's father. So when you look here
Hmm.
and you see the pictures inside of his house, you can clearly see the picture in the middle is Eloise. And it's the exact same sweater that she was wearing when she was in Fromville with in the flashback scene.
Okay.
So it's no doubt that that's her sweater right there. All right. So and there's pictures of other family members. You see them all three together. It looks like the
Yeah.
mother, Victor, and them, and all of them. I've never seen anybody have pictures of some people have said this could be Eloise's husband, but I've said before in the past I've never seen anyone who dates somebody that puts that person's baby pictures up in frames
Yeah.
like that. Only
No.
only parents do that. Elamar, you're a
Yeah.
parent. Do you have
I am
baby
a
pictures
parent.
of yourself
I
up?
do. That's I think the only pictures I have on the wall. Everything is else is down. But that's my kids' pictures there on the wall. So yeah, I can see that happening, and from when they were little and different ages. But yeah.
So and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in on this one picture, and this is what people should focus on a little bit too. All right, so you can see that this picture's
Mm-hmm.
right there. This looks like Victor and Eloise, and
Yeah.
they're young. You can see right here Victor, Eloise, his mom, and this dude, right?
Yep. Yep.
So that's them in that picture right there. But there's this one picture right here in the back you can't really see. What is that drawing? It looks like. It looks like a drawing of something with like
Um,
horns in the head, right?
I'm
Or
not sure. So technically, it could be a face, like very blurred out, two faces, or a face
could
maybe
be,
with longer hair.
definitely could be something
Um,
like that. What I said. What up, Michael Lee?
yeah.
Thank you for making it. On the bottom is another baby picture. It looks like a girl. It would be a girl baby picture right there. But this picture
Mhm.
right here on the side,
Hmm.
this looks like teenage Victor and Eloise having a snowball fight. That's what it looks like to me.
Okay. Um, it's either that or him and his wife when they were dating still.
I
But
mean, I guess maybe we can consider it. It could be that. I could not dispute that. But when we look at all the pictures, we've only seen the pictures of them two together in the family portrait. We've never seen pictures
mhm.
of that.
And
It
they are
seems
very
like
young here. If this is the husband or the father and the mother, it's a picture of when they were really really young,
yes,
like young, like in their teens
yeah. Chocolate
or
abuse said
early. Yeah.
they don't look like teenagers to me. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know. And listen, teenagers means up to 19.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're saying that they don't look like 19-year-olds, or I mean, I could see what you're saying, maybe 2021. In the end, if this is Victor in this picture,
Hmm.
how is it possible that Victor is in this picture when he's supposed to be tracked to
Hmm.
Firmville this whole time?
Hmm. Okay.
Shorty Pooh, thank you for the super chat. He says, do you think that it could be Tabitha's father and that could be Tabitha's pictures? I know that I agree with you, but now
Hmm.
I'm thinking it can't be Tabitha because Eloise has that same sweater in the pictures in the flashback that Victor remembers. So the fact that we have those pictures there of her, that flashback of her in that sweater and a picture of her in the sweater at the same age means
Hmm.
that for that reason it can't be Tabitha. I
Okay.
truly, Elamar says it could be the parents in this picture. I cannot disagree. I truly think it's Victor and Eloise having a snowball fight.
Hmm.
And if that is the case, then the question is, how is Victor in Fromville since a child all the way to 50? But he's
Right.
outside here, he has a picture of himself with Eloise grown up, not as children anymore out
Hmm.
here. How is that possible?
So, like what are they called? Not clones, but um, yeah. Where So do you think that okay? So that's Eloise, but that's not Victor, like not real Victor.
That's
Be-
Victor, and that's Eloise in there. And people
But
say they
meaning
look
like
like
Victor is
people
in
say they don't
Farmville.
look like teenagers. I listen. I think when y'all are thinking of teenagers, y'all are thinking 13, 14, 15. That's what y'all thinking about. I'm not saying that.
It
I'm
can be
saying
up to 20 or
it could, yeah,
19.
if they're 19, 20,
Mm-hmm.
21, this is what I think they are. I don't think they're 35 years old in this picture. I think they're young in this picture, 20,
Mm-hmm.
19, around there. So I'm not thinking that they're 13-year-old teenagers. No, they
Hmm.
don't look like that. I'm thinking that it's something like a little bit older. If this is the case, now Lamar could be correct. This could be Victor's parents having a snowball fight and someone taking a picture of them. But I think that the theme of these pictures are these are the children's pictures
Mm-hmm.
on this wall. It
And
doesn't
it's
seem like
interesting. Yeah, and
most
it's
times like
yeah.
A lot of times when you have a couple and you have a pictures with the couple, you have a bunch of those pictures of y'all as a couple. You have y'all going somewhere on vacation, then another picture of y'all being on vacation somewhere else. But when you have the family photos, usually it's the family photos, and the
Mm.
pictures of the kids usually have those grouped together, so you can look
Mm.
at the different stages of their life.
Yeah.
So again, if this is the case, and this is here right here, how did Victor be
Hmm.
so big here, but he's locked up in Frumville this whole time?
And
So
it's interesting that there's snow over there in the background too, right? And right now we're seeing snow in Fromville. I wonder if that's any indication of what's going on.
yep, I think so. Let's go to chat and see what they're saying
Hmm.
about this thing. They're probably some of the last photos he has of them alive before they disappeared too. Well, Victor disappeared when he was a child. He was with his
Yeah.
mother there when they were a child, so he shouldn't. He technically shouldn't have a picture of them both grown up. Even if it was
Hmm.
just Eloise who escaped, he shouldn't have the picture of Victor at this age. It shouldn't have it like that.
So what do you think happened? Like how is he? Is he in both places at the same time, or is
We've seen it.
he?
Like, so we've seen that a little
Yeah.
bit already in the show, right? When Boyd went to go kill the jukebox or whatever the box was, you seen all the
Hmm.
people that were locked up in that cage were
Yeah.
really somewhere else in Frumville. They were
Yeah.
on the bed, locked up, but then we seen them in there screaming.
Hmm.
So we seen people be at two different places at two different
Yeah.
times in that show, right?
True.
So if we deal with that, I mean, the only thing I could think of, and I racked my brain about it, is that it could be some type of clone situation going on here. It
Hmm.
could be that this Victor here, that's outside the walls, could be a fake Victor, a clone of Victor, that's masquerading as Victor on the outside, or it could be this Victor that came up with this whole situation from some type, if
Hmm.
you wanted to, with dream situation that has everybody trapped in there with his dreams.
That would be a cool experiment if he was the kid um who actually had those powers or potential, and the scientists or whoever's doing all of this, they noticed it in some way, or maybe they knew about it and they're using that. And Victor may not even know technically what's going on. Like, he may be oblivious to what he's doing. He may be
Mhm.
oblivious and not realizing, or maybe he knows it but he chooses to forget it. Some people choose to forget it, or their mind just makes them forget it because it's
Yeah,
too much. It's
because
too.
when you look at
Yeah.
if it's say some type of clone situation or something like that,
Mhm.
maybe they need the organs of the people that are there in Frumville to keep their lives going or something like that. I mean, because when you see the creatures kill people, it seems like they rip open the chest and they take the
Right.
organs out of them. Like, why are they
Yeah.
taking the organs out? It's not like they're eating them. They kill them, rip open their whole chest cavity, and they grab, it seems like the heart and everything else from the
Yeah.
inside.
And if they wanted to just make it gory, like I mentioned before, like, and whenever I was talking about it before, it's to show how scared. Because, like you also mentioned, they don't kill them inside; they make it on a display. But if they really wanted, if there was no point to taking out organs, they could have just ripped them out and smeared them all over the floor or ground or wherever the
Mhm.
body is, to make it even more bloody. But they take them; they're gone. They're
Mhm.
not there, so they're taking them for a reason, hopefully.
And we don't never see the monsters take them,
Yeah,
right?
they're just gone.
They're gone. We know they're gone. So we
Yeah.
can't say that we know that it's taken. You know what I mean? We don't know that. It could be because everyone's asleep at this time.
Right.
Everyone's in bed. It's dark out. It could be scientists that come in there when everyone's asleep, and they're the ones who remove the organs to run whatever
Hmm.
test they're doing, and then they leave the place.
Hmm.
It could be a situation like that, and these monsters are just forced because they make sure that everyone's supposed to have their blinds down. You're not supposed to be looking
Yeah.
outside the windows, so maybe no one has seen anything. Sonic, your boy says, yeah, Matrix, 10 out of 10. Listen,
Hmm.
it could be if you say dream sequence, Matrix, same thing. It would be the
Right.
exact same thing, whether it's a dream or in some type of matrix. And as we've seen in the Matrix, how it really was, everything seemed real. You were able to do everything. They were able, when Neo got the power, he was able to bend the Matrix. But the actual reality was they were in space and they were being, destroyed as a race and just being used for batteries and shit.
Yeah.
So it could be a Matrix whole situation. But I really think this,
Yeah.
out of the whole trailer, this picture is the most interesting shot that has to. If you could figure out what is going on in this picture, then the whole show is broken open with
Yeah.
this one picture right
Who
here.
they are. Yeah.
You know,
And if
and,
it is the kids, then that's huge. If it is the parents, then not as significant at all, I would say. But if it's the kids, then yeah.
yeah, if it's Victor and
Hmm.
Eloise,
Yeah.
then it is. And I think it is because if you look at all the other pictures, it's always Victor and Eloise, Victor and Eloise. There's one picture of them all together as a family, but everything else is Victor and Eloise.
Yeah. And
So
Tony, you mentioned in the past, I'm sure you also mentioned it after the previous season, um, the way this may be an experiment,
mhm,
and the whole thing currently it revolves around reality and more science-y stuff, not like sci-fi kind of thing, very
mhm,
new to us. And one of the recent things that it's popping up places is the reality. Actually, what is it, the scientists are confirming now that what the reality happens as we speak, like we are literally creating our own reality,
mhm.
meaning the fact that we are observing something, we have an effect. Like if it's not observed, it acts on a what is called quantum level, or that other level. It behaves differently when it's not observed. So just by mere observing something, we're creating a different reality. So the idea that they are not being watched, to the bodies, the dead bodies, or the dead people are not being watched. Things are happening outside of that. The moment they see them, they're no organs. So the reality again is created after people look at it. I wonder if they're going to go that way, because this show seems to try to stay very relevant.
Mhm.
They're not doing the vampire monster kind of thing. They're going for
Yeah.
more sciencey stuff, and this is very much one of the newest things that are out there.
If you look at all the shows
Yeah.
that came out recently, it's all alternate universes,
Yeah.
alternate people, whether it's Constellation, Dark Matter.
Mm-hmm.
All these shows deal with alternate universes, multiple
Yeah.
people from alternate universes and stuff. And it's a good chance that's exactly what we're dealing with here, more than any type of magic or anything like that. That is what it seems to be, and everything else. Team A says the scientists might be coming in while everyone sleeps to get the organs to give to the clones outside. Yes,
Yeah.
what I said in my video. If you haven't seen my video, go check out my last video I dropped today. I put all that in there, so I agree with you right there. Uh, uh, Jesus says LMR won't be alien. Yes, it will be.
I'm not saying it's aliens,
It
Tony.
is.
I'm not.
It is gonna be. You don't
Tony's
have. You don't have.
saying
You
it's
don't have to agree,
aliens.
LMR. It's fine. You don't have to agree. I know it's aliens. I know this has got to do with aliens. I ain't even worried about it.
I'm thinking more of something. Well, technically, whatever is not from Earth, it's an
Is it alien?
alien,
Yes,
right?
it is. You're correct.
But I wonder, like, at what point are we aliens? Just because we're here? How did we get here? Maybe we're aliens.
We possibly could be aliens
So it
as
may be an experiment
Earthlings.
like that. So no,
It.
I'm not saying it's like, oh, somebody just showed up and experiments just like that. Maybe they knew about us already and they're just checking up on their experiment, which is humans. I'm
Uh
not
huh.
saying that won't, that's not a possibility. I mean, I would do that if there was a chance for to have different, coming here over centuries and be the same person while the generations are dying and
Uh
being
huh.
born. I would do that.
I
Maybe they
think
have that
that
technology.
if you want to say it, I think that it's impossible in my mind for human beings to be here if not placed here. I
Yeah.
don't see it possible for us to be on this planet
Mhm.
unless someone put us on this planet. I do not
Mhm.
believe some amino acids gathered around and
Yeah.
developed and we came from that, because it's impossible. Because I don't care if you had 10 trillion babies. You put
Yeah.
10 trillion babies on the floor, they're all going to die. A human baby takes years to raise up.
Yeah.
Years. So then you have to ask, where'd that first human baby come from to raise
Hmm.
up that baby? Where'd the first two humans come from to raise that? I mean, it's a chicken and the egg quandary, right?
Right.
What came first, the chicken and the egg? You can't have the chicken without the egg, but you can't have but you can't have the egg without the chicken,
Right. Egg
right?
had to. It's an evolution thing, I guess.
So how do you get
Yeah.
there? So
Yeah.
how does all that stuff come about? So to me, me personally, I think that we were put here on this planet and to see what was going on, or so,
Hmm.
no other way I could see it. I don't believe that two people populated the whole planet. I
Yeah.
don't believe that.
Yeah.
I just don't
It's
believe.
like having somebody said it again a long time ago. It's like the chances of humans just kind of like popping out of nowhere. It's like you have a hurricane or a tornado in a like a factory, metal factory or steel factory, and after like a couple hours, you get a like a plane just by
Mhm.
sheer chaos and coincidence. The way the
Yeah,
chances
evolution.
of that is impossible, almost impossible.
It's
It's like
impossible. I
us.
mean, I know. I love kind of love that she says evolution. There's no evolution to the human, how a human is born. It's
The
all been the
jumps
same.
in it are kind of crazy, right?
Yeah,
Such a jump.
it's not like people all of a sudden
Hmm.
back in the day they gave birth to babies. They were only a month of incubation inside of a woman's body, and they came out and they were able to walk in a little bit. Now we've reduced it all the way back to now it takes 9 months. It had to always take 9 months. It had to always be a child. The child had to be suckled. Someone had to go out and gather food and everything to keep everything straight and all that. It's just no other way for that to take place. And when you look at it like that, it's not like horses. Like horses, they give birth, the babies can run in a matter of hours. Like it can take off on its feet and stuff like that and all that. Human baby ain't like that. It ain't taking off at all. It takes years. Look at these damn kids living at home at 30 still. 32 years old. Motherfuckers still goddamn at home right now. You know what I mean? What evolution in that? Ain't no evolution. These kids over here getting laundry done, coming to their mom's house at 35 years old with 3 bags of laundry, getting the laundry done. Ain't no evolution
and,
here.
and
These
you know
motherfuckers.
the way, yeah, I completely agree. And somebody said it is humans evolved from other species. Yeah, but think of like dogs, right? To From the dog that was back then, the dog that was like size of, well, it was a what, a wolf, right? Before,
Yep.
it's what do you call that when I'm so tired already, but what do you call that where it's you choose breathing, basically you
Yep.
choose which route to take. So I'm I would not be opposed to thinking that, yeah, somewhere out there were humans and they just were kind of like an experiment. Okay, let's mix these up, let's mix those up, see what happens, and then it evolved into the modern human, and then we just took off from there.
I
um,
believe that that's
I
most
think we
likely.
were helped back then, like way, way, way back then.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think that's exactly. I said
We were helped.
these kids, it's about not. Then we have
Hmm.
the pictures in the basement. That's what he says. I think you come to see these pictures. Now,
Hmm.
listen, there's two ways to look at it. If that's a picture of Victor outside, right?
Yeah.
Then Victor could have painted some of
Hmm.
these pictures, or Eloise could have painted them. It's one or the other, or both.
Hmm.
Right? I know a lot of people want to tend to believe it was all Eloise, but if that's Victor in the picture, then you got to say it could have been Victor also. And
Hmm.
when we look at these pictures and stuff, and it seems like they're drawing pictures of Fromville. You see the trees here,
Hmm.
you see the children here, look the same. This could be a boy and a girl right here. You see the prison that had the kids locked up in right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it's two things that this could be. This could be, when we look at it, it could be Eloise made it back and she's drawing the stuff that she's
Hmm.
seen while she was there. Now, when Eloise actually seen the kid in the cage, I don't know. They never showed her
Yeah.
see that. I don't know if her mother would take her into that cave to see that. We don't know if she was one of the kids in the cave. We don't know. We have no idea.
Hmm.
All right. We have no idea about that. There's no definitive explanation of that whatsoever.
Hmm.
Right? So we don't know. But if they did draw these things and then they manifested these things into that from world, then you could
Hmm.
say, oh, she drew a picture of a cave. Now there's caves inside from world. She drew a
Hmm.
picture of this. Now that is inside from world. That their drawings, their dreams and their drawings from these dreams have actually come to life and been placed inside of this from world experiment and
Hmm.
stuff, more than she
Um,
actually seen these cage herself. It's hard for me to believe that she's seen, because from what we've seen about these cages, we've only seen one person see these cages, and that was Tabitha. No one else
mhm.
has ever seen it in all the years of everybody being there. All right, all the years from
Hmm.
Victor being there when he was a child to 50. From what we know, he's never seen the cage. We know these people in Colony
Yeah.
House ain't seen those cages because
Yep.
they ain't leaving there. We know that Boyd ain't never seen these cages. Only time Victor's seen them when he was escaping with Tabitha then. But these pictures are on the outside.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Eloise ever seen these cages, because it seems like, why would she have? Why would she have gone into that hole? It seems like when Victor discovered where the monsters were at with Tabitha, they were the first people to have discovered
Hmm.
that was in there, that at least has survived to talk about it, that we know.
Tony, I wonder how it all ties in. I know there was so much conversation about it, but how do you think it all ties in with not the current people that we see,
Mm-hmm.
but the visions that, for example, Jade had by the tree of that guy hanging and him
Yeah,
being shot? Like, how do you think that is related? Is it people from before you, when you mentioned a flood, but how would that relate to Victor? Is he tied into the past as well, or is it just anybody appearing there at any time
I
because
want to.
of Victor kind of like
I have a
makes
whole.
them happen?
I have a whole thing about that whole Jade thing. I was going to do in a video,
Mm.
and I know that there's other creators who watch my channel and
Okay.
do the
Huh?
video before, but I don't care. I
Okay. I don't know.
don't
Maybe I
care.
should not have asked.
I don't care about those people. Those people, I don't care about that. But what
Yeah.
happens? When you see that, right? When
Mm-hmm.
Jay touches the tree, then I look at what was happening when he touches the tree.
Yeah.
They were putting up the thing, and it always seems like once they're about to do something
Mm-hmm.
to help them get out, that's when a vision
Yeah.
occurs to try to scare them and stop them from doing what they were
Yep.
doing. So he touches the tree when they're putting that up. He wiggles the wire. They're getting close. They put the antenna up. He touches the tree. The blood comes on his hand. The
Mm-hmm.
symbol is on the tree. All right.
Yeah.
Symbol's on his tree. Then he gets chased by the Civil War soldier.
Yeah.
But if you look, when he gets stabbed by that Civil War soldier, you see that there's a light that shines directly in his eyes. And then when they come to that light, they transition that light as if it was the sunlight that was there. So to me, that light seemed like
Mm-hmm.
someone looking in his eyes, like a doctor
Okay.
looking into
Yeah.
his
Like with
eyes
the. Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
light, is what it simulated to me. Like there was a
Hmm.
doctor. So really, it's someone looking into his eyes with a light, and then they used that as a transition to the sunlight and made it look like the sun was shining in his
Hmm.
face. But if you look at it close, you can see it shines right across his eyeballs. They show the light, and they specifically show it shine right across his eyeballs,
Mm-hmm.
and then it transitions to that sun.
Okay. So if that would be another point that it's all, it may be all not just a dream, but some kind of an active dream state,
Mm-hmm.
because even for people who dream, this is strange, but I heard that not everybody dreams. So for those who do dream, sometimes whenever there's whatever is happening in your dream as you're having a dream,
Mm-hmm.
your reality in a dream maybe is affected sometimes with what's happening outside. Let's say there's a noise or there's something outside that your body can sense, and that sensation translates into the dream as a logical thing and is incorporated in your current dream. So like you mentioned, the doctor doing this to his
Mm-hmm.
eyes was not, was at the same time, well, happening not coincidentally at the same time, but because of that being, done to his eyes, that affected and incorporated into the entire dream state that he has. So that would be another, I guess, point too, that it may be a dream, just it's real. I mean, dreams are real feelings. It's not like, if when we're dreaming, at least for me, when I dream about something great or bad, I actually have those are the emotions I wake up with. Either I had a
Mm-hmm.
nightmare or a very fun dream, I wake up with the memories and sensations and feelings of that dream, even if it's for a short while after I wake up, be it, I don't know, a couple seconds to couple minutes, I still have that sensation of either fear or happiness. So these are real feelings. It's not that it happened, but in my brain doesn't know any different until I wake up, in a way. So
Thank you
it's
for the
kind of cool to think
super
about it like that.
sticker, Mika. We truly appreciate the donation, 100%. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's the coma theory. I don't know if they're in a coma, but you
Mhm.
have to look at the reality of the situation that we've seen. All right, we've heard multiple times stuff being mentioned about dreams. They're just
Mhm.
not saying that just to say it.
Mhm.
You're not going to
Yeah.
bring something up and say it over and over and over again just to lead astray and not have something to do
Yeah.
with that. You know what I mean? So there's no way around that. Number two, she got pushed out of a lighthouse, and then
Right.
all of a sudden she woke up in a hospital.
Yeah.
When you have a dream, everyone knows
Mhm.
that if
Yeah.
you ever fell in a dream, you always wake up before you hit the floor. That's
Yeah.
a known fact of a dream, that you always
Yeah.
wake up before you hit the ground. No one
Yeah.
actually ever hits the ground. You always wake up before. So
Mhm.
if she
Yeah.
was dreaming and she got pushed out the window, and
That's
now
a
all of
way
a
to
sudden
wake
she
up.
wakes up.
Yeah.
Now she's up in the hospital. And
Mhm.
they said that she was in this, they found her on the side of the road in the hospital,
Mhm.
and she was passed out by wherever she was at there already. Right?
Yeah.
So it could be a situation
Yeah.
that in the end,
Yeah.
this is what we're dealing with here.
But then there's also that it's not just a theory. I don't know if it ever happens to you. Now, to me, it doesn't happen anymore. I have a bit more control over how I dream, which is a great thing to have. But when I was a kid, I was always afraid. I had so many nightmares until I don't know where I heard it. I must have heard it somewhere. I don't think I would have just come up with it as a kid. But if I'm having a very scary nightmare, one thing is to realize it is a dream within a dream. Not everybody can. Not. I mean, not
Mhm.
everybody can do that. And even though I can do that, sometimes I forget about it. And as a kid, I forgot that it to tell myself in a dream that this is a dream and it's okay. So that one thing was to tell yourself it's a dream and then just, go with it, have fun with it, or like, okay, I'm not scared. It's scary, but I'm not scared because it's just a dream. Or to make yourself wake up. But sometimes the only way to wake up is to literally die. So you go towards the danger, you die in the dream, and then you wake up. The scary part is for me was when I had a dream within a dream within a dream. That was
Mhm.
a scary part. Literally,
I
I thought I was awake. I was not awake, and then I had to wake up again, and I was not awake either. So
Yeah, I
that's
didn't.
scary.
I don't think I've ever done. I've done the dream within a dream. I have had that. I had one happen to me recently about that.
Mm.
That I actually woke up and then I walked outside like naked, and then I was walking around to the store, and then I said to myself in a dream, I said, I would never walk outside naked. Why am I walking outside naked? And that's when I woke up.
So that was the first time, one of those first times that you had a dream like that,
No,
right?
no, no. I've had
Oh,
dreams
okay,
within the dream
okay.
before. That's my latest one.
Oh, your latest one. Okay, got
The
it.
last
Yeah.
dream I had that I remember I was dreaming was I was with this girl in the dream,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized that it was a dream, and apparently she was my girlfriend in the dream,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized it was a dream. And I said, "What?" I said, "What? Where did we meet?" And then she said something like, "You know where we met." And I said, "No, I need you to tell me."
Mm,
And then she said,
yeah.
"We met from your best friend. Your best friend's my girlfriend's, well, something like that." Like,
Uh-huh.
so it was like that. And then I said, "What's your name?" And then she was like, "Why are you asking me my name?" I said, "I need you to say it." And I have it
Yeah.
written down, but it's I woke up and I wrote the name down. The last name was Manning. It was like
Hmm.
something, it was Manning. I have the name written down, so I have wrote down the name and
Yeah.
everything and all that. That was the last dream that I realized I was in a dream, and I was like,
Yeah.
let me find out who this person is that
Yeah.
I'm with. And that was the name that, and I got the name. It was something Manning. I have it written down, but and
Yeah.
I wanted to know exactly how we met. And he says we said we met
Hmm.
through my best friend's girlfriend or something like that. It's her
Mm-hmm.
friend, and that's how we met and
Interesting.
everything. So
So
I always,
it is interesting to have to be aware of being in a dream, right? And that not
yeah,
everybody. It's a fun thing once you have it. Once you have that realization, you can have fun with it. Either way, I mean, you can't always control where you're going, but this will be a real cool study. Experiment too. I mean, I'm sure other studies are happening in Fromville, but to kind of have that dream experiment too. Who wakes up, who's conscious, who is aware of what's happening, and how far will they go,
mm-hmm.
and to
I
study
know
them in
that.
that very controlled, because
I'll
they're
tell you.
controlling everything.
Yeah, I'll tell you that chick's name because I searched it on Facebook.
Were you able to find her? Do you actually know her?
No, I don't. I don't. But I searched it on Facebook. Ava Manning was her
Mm.
name. That was her name, Ava Manning.
See, so that's probably, see, you should follow up on that. Like,
No,
hey,
I
do I
did.
know
That's why I
you
went on
did?
Facebook. When I woke up, I went on Facebook and I tried
Hmm.
to see if it was someone that looked
Yeah.
familiar in the dream, and I didn't find anybody. But the name was Ava Manning.
Mm.
That was her name. Look, but I always think like dreams to me is
Yeah.
glimpses into your alternate parallel universes.
Yeah.
And in the
Yeah.
parallel universe, whoever I am, my parallel universe, I'm dating someone named Ava Manning. The parallel universe of Tony Teflon. I'm Tony Teflon Prime. This other person is just a whatever. All right, we'll
Right,
go back to.
he's not saying the same thing right now, right?
Well, he's wrong.
That's funny.
All right. We also see pictures of these kids that are here.
Hmm.
Again, we have no proof
Oh
that
wow.
Eloise actually seen these
Yeah.
kids. We don't. We have no
Yeah.
idea that she's seen these kids. The only ones that we know
Hmm.
that seen these kids in the
Hmm.
show is Tabitha. Now,
Yeah.
it's going to be proof to Tabitha that she was there and everything else, but we just don't have the proof that these kids were seen
Hmm.
by them. Maybe they did see him, but
Hmm.
we can't say for certain that she did. We can
Hmm.
say, why is she drawing? Now, are these kids' drawings on the outside? Again, if they put that, but let's say Victor and his sister made that bottle tree
Yeah.
before all this stuff happened. And now that bottle tree is incorporated from their
Hmm.
dreams into Fromville because they had fun when they were kids and they did it. And they drew these pictures of these kids before all this happened. And now these kids are incorporated in Fromville because their drawings basically have come to life and everything else from their dreams have come to life in there. That
Okay.
could be a situation that is going. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm saying it could be a situation that's going on here that we have to take into account in that it's possible that that could be happening.
And that tree in Fromville, actually, again, I don't remember how it looked exactly. How was the
Uh-huh.
trunk much thicker than the one that we
Yes,
see? Because
yes.
I'm assuming it grew over the years, but even like, how many years would it take for that thing to grow that
I mean,
wide? Yeah,
I
if
know
that's the
people.
same tree.
People want to believe that this forest is magical and there's no fucking magic here, bro. I'm telling you, when it's all said and done, it ain't gonna be a drop of magic to do with anything. And
Mm,
again, magic is only science that hasn't
yeah,
been explained yet.
yeah.
That's all magic is. There's no magic. There's no Harry
So
Potter wand.
magic is energy, and energy is part of science. So we
It's,
call it magic. Somebody may call it magic, but it's science.
there's not going to be anything like that. And yes, and Eloise also did draw the Civil War soldiers,
Hmm.
and we seen them in there.
So I wonder if she saw them just because she saw them and then they started appearing there, or she.
I mean,
I'm
she
sorry, she
could.
drew them because she saw them, or the other way around.
That's the question.
Uh,
Did she see them inside of this place? That's why she drew them, or
mm,
did she draw them, and that's why they are inside of the place?
mm.
That's the question that has to be answered, and that's a question that is impossible to answer at all. You can't.
What's that? What if they're that movie with Tom Cruise, Minority Report, where there were those triplets? I'm calling them triplets. I don't know if you remember that movie. They were in that tank of water and they were predicting future and they were connected to the thing and the crimes. I don't know. Are you familiar with that movie,
What? Say
Tony?
it again. I was
A
looking at the
Minority
photo.
Report.
Yes,
Tom,
Minority
yeah.
Report.
So those there's a one sister and two brothers, I think, and they're like predicting future. I wonder if Louise and Victor are that kind of, not twins, but that kind of a sibling
Mm-hmm.
group that can do stuff like that, and not using them for anything right now, but part of the experiment to use them for future.
All right.
That's a stretch, but
Jay
yeah.
Ruiz says he's figured out the show. He says, I figured out the show. It's time traveling cannibal aliens from the 1800s who are dreaming about the fifth dimension with magic zombies before experiments. Who agrees? I agree. I think that's right.
Oh my gosh,
All
cannibal
these things.
aliens.
I mean, when you deal
Awesome.
with it, right? It could all be a situation. Listen, Carla Way's in the chat, rocking with us. Everybody throw the Carla Way emoji. If you're a member, throw the Carla Way emoji up in there for our girl from the land down under, rocking with us and everything. Throw the LMR emoji up in there for LMR being back on the stream, rocking with us for this right now. Throw the LMR up there. It does seem to be some
Mhm.
type of Raggedy Ann and Andy situation here between
Mm.
Eloise and Victor, and and time travel is easy to see. I have said that in multiple videos that we're talking time travel here. I said that from the jump because when you could deal with wormholes, and that's
Mm.
why I believe that everyone is coming in on a wormhole,
Mm.
and that the faraway trees are actually teleportation devices that use wormhole technology. When you're dealing with a wormhole, you can go forward and backwards into time
Mm.
doing that. So I think that's what it is. We also got this picture here of this statue, epitaph, or whatever you want to call it. Uh, I think it's some type of warning to tell people to not come around. I think that's all it is. I don't think it's anything else than that. We put a picture of Donna.
Somebody carved that, like that face. That's
Yeah,
detailed, quite detailed.
and I think it's the people who did it are these people that live in the cabin
Mm.
in the woods, right there. These people back here, this new area
Mhm.
of the cabin in the woods, these cabins
Okay.
in the back.
Yeah, we have not. This is a bit hilly, right? It's not just the piles of snow. It looks like there's a bit of a hill to that, right? There's a bit
Yeah,
of
no, we have not.
elevation.
We have not been here. This is a different part
Yeah.
of the forest that they have never seen. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So this is
Yeah.
definitely
More
a
like a cabin.
different
Yeah.
spot.
Huh. Interesting. Like the little pins in that, like little nails on it. That's funny for hair. That's part of, I guess, magic or what people do.
I mean,
Spells and stuff.
I don't know. I just, I don't know if it actually what it
Yeah.
means. It could do it for hair. It could mean something else.
Yeah.
It's impossible to tell. Or the decorations. People put shit in for decorations all the time.
True.
I seen I've seen the birds now. I took a picture of it, and this goddamn birds had ribbons in there, and like they were in crafting class. Like they had ribbons in there. They had scotch tape in the nest. They had
Yeah.
all these things of
Yeah.
on there to make the nest. It wasn't just because they were trying to say something. This is just the
Yeah.
material they used and they used to
Yeah.
build the nest. It seems like it's deliberate though. They put the nails in the head deliberately. Could be just for decoration to look like hair, or because they think it makes it look scarier. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I
But
wonder, maybe this is just a distraction for, like, to get attention of whoever would be technically attacking or going towards the house to get kind of like something like a shiny object for some. No, it's not shiny, but like for something shiny to get somebody's attention. So maybe the creatures or something
it's
to stop
definitely
over
it's
there.
definitely a warning. Like,
Yeah.
you come here, you're gonna die.
Mm.
Like, don't come here. And these people, whoever are inside this
Mm.
cabin, you know, are not. They're living a different life. Now, remember the guy who was locked up.
Yeah.
Was Martin's his name?
Yeah.
He said that the monsters are only the tip of the spear,
Yeah.
meaning that there are hands holding the spear behind it. And he
Mm-hmm.
said that that's not the worst part of this place. Is not them. There's something else going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that, Luna?
That's Nova. She always meows when she brings me a trophy that she finds. She found a toy and she is making it very loud, making it known that she has something for me.
Oh,
Yeah, she's very
that
loud.
is that right there is a part of evolution.
Mm.
Cats have evolved to meow at
Just for
humans,
humans.
just
Yeah.
for humans. They don't meow at each
Hmm.
other or anything else. They just did
Yeah.
that specifically to communicate with humans. So evolution does happen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All that. So yeah, it's hard to say what's going on here in there, but I do believe this is once they get here. I think it's me personally. I think Christy gets captured by this person here that's grabbing Jade by the neck, and I've seen a whole
Mm.
bunch of other people after I put my video out say the exact same thing, which is
Yeah.
fine. But because you see when they first see Jade.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find. Do I have the
And when
picture?
you're looking for it, it shows so many scenes where there's snow and there's no snow. So all of a sudden, it might have just fallen. Like
It's
it was just a snowfall.
I think that this scene that happens has to happen soon because the
Mm.
snow is just starting to
Yeah.
fall. So the death is going to happen soon.
Yeah.
Because right now you see the snow's on the ground here. So
Mm-hmm.
this is after. There's a little bit of snow here.
Mm-hmm. And they're walking with that.
With Jade here, you can
Yeah.
see right here with Jade, there's
Yeah.
the red hat is here,
Okay.
and he's not wearing it. And we know that Chrissy in the preview thing has that red hat on. And then the next time you see Jade, he's got that red hat on. So he's taking it from Chrissy. And I think that she gets captured by that creature with the one eye and taken to the cabins. And that's where they're at. Because you see here with Donna and the food's rotted.
Yeah.
There's no snow. There's snow here, snow there.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning is no snow. There's no snow in the woods when they're out here looking.
Yeah. And they're not dressed for, like, we're here, even with his hair. I'm wondering, like, are they shaving over there or their hair never grew? Did they ever pay attention to the fact that their hair never
And
grew?
there's no snow here. So when the person
Yeah.
gets killed is when the snow starts.
Mm-hmm.
Is when it starts. So right here you can see he looks like he's about to confront, comfort him.
Yeah.
Boyd again is grabbing his arm, which looks like maybe it's come back. His disease has come back because he stopped grabbing his arm for a long time, but now you see him grabbing his arm again. And this to me is Mrs. Lou.
Yeah, it's not a very large body. It's very petite.
Yeah, this is Mrs. Lou. She's the one who's dead. So, and then you see snow is here starting.
Okay.
See it coming down on his face and stuff. So
who are these? Can you zoom in on the people? They're just nobody. I'm not. I want to say nobody, but nobody significant.
Jade and Boyd are the significant people, and it seems they're coming from the barn where Boyd got attacked in the barn. And this is when Donna says, "You got ambushed, and you lost. You lost here."
Yeah.
But again, you can see in this point with Ethan, there's no snow on the ground here. So I think that when that battle happens and they come for him, the snow hits, and then they're forced to go out after the snow hits. All the food is gone then. then they're forced to go out in the woods and look for stuff. You can see here, there's no snow on the ground in this picture.
Yeah.
No snow when Victor is looking to dig up whatever he's trying to find. It's no snow there.
Hmm.
Tabitha outside, all that. We talked about that. These guys searching, no
Mm-hmm.
snow on the ground when they find that thing outside. When Mrs. Lou is
Okay.
out here, I can't really see if there's snow on the ground. There
Yeah,
is snow on the
there's
ground.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So and now I wonder
That's
who.
a cow, or what is this?
Yeah, they killed the cow.
Yeah.
The monsters killed the cow.
Hmm.
I think they probably killed the cow and abduct Mrs. Lou right here. Victor
Hmm.
comes and drags him away. Then they
Yeah.
bag up Mrs. Lou. But here, right here, we see in the beginning, it's got to be early episode
Mm-hmm.
that Boyd is trying to calm down Randall, and there's no snow on
Mm-hmm.
the ground.
With that scene, at this point, it's nighttime, and she
Yep.
was knocking. They opened the door. I would still not be opening the door, even if the monsters were, already not coming for like a couple of weeks. I would be not like, no, you can stay, you can camp outside. Why did you open the
The
door?
monster may have imitated Tabitha's voice
Oh, okay.
and said, "It's mommy,
Okay.
come open the door."
Hmm.
That's the only thing. That's the only pass I can give him.
Yeah. I
That the
mean,
monster
I would
and
still be like, that's okay. Stay out there.
I
Yeah.
would have had to peek through the window and see
Mm-hmm.
that instead of just rushing the door open. I was like, I
Yeah.
gotta look. And you're exactly correct, Amy. Aliens do love to mutilate cows.
What is it, right? What is it with that?
they, they, they,
Just,
they love even in Lovecraft Country, they were getting those shagas. They were
mm,
letting them putting them inside cows to make them be born.
mm,
The shagas and everything. Mary Ann says that Jay totally grew on her. I like Jay.
mm.
I think he's one of the best people in there.
He's very interesting. He has this different, it's a escape room. It's escape village kind of thing, and just out there, it thinks of everybody as NPCs and just just does his thing. But he's a brilliant guy. Just has to realize that people are people. That these are actually human beings for
Mm-hmm.
whatever we know about them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the people that are monsters now?
Oh, no, no. Meaning like when he interacts with anybody, he has to remember because he has the superiority thing, and which is fine, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
he needs to remember that he's actually dealing with people. That these people have emotions too.
Well,
That not ever.
he's a snobby. He just feels that he's just better than them. He's more elite than them
Right,
because he's smarter than them. He's on the
right,
upper echelons. He's billionaire, sold the company for a whole lot of money.
right.
It's a rich guy. He's looking
It's
down.
grounding him. This whole experience. It's grounding
Mm-hmm.
him, giving him some humility.
Let me get a picture of the boy in white here. Flashback. Obviously, you can look at the car that looks a little bit shinier than the ones that we see now. And again, remember, the boy in white appeared to Victor.
Hmm.
That's it. Victor didn't even know if it was real or anything like that. It was,
Hmm.
so this boy in white, in all honesty, could be Victor from
Hmm.
the outside. That picture, Victor, this could be like his avatar on the inside.
Hmm.
Like he could be using this because you heard her say,
He's not a boy.
yeah, it's not a boy.
Yeah.
So he could be an avatar of this someone just going in there. What's going on, Mostly Insane? Appreciate
Hmm.
you stopping by and chilling with us, man, for this little bit of time that we up here tonight. Rock talking about them. But I'll be doing a longer stream, I promise you, but I got things I have to do in the morning, so I can't stay up here all night like normal. I wish I could, but don't worry, we'll be back. We'll be back and do more and stuff like that and all that. If anybody wants to call, let me know, and I will hook up the phone line so you can call and ask some questions. Joey says, if Tony is right and Eloise's dreams have manifested into Fromland, maybe the snow also had something to do with Victor and Eloise. There was snow in an old
Hmm.
childhood photo of them. You're correct in that situation. We talked a little bit about that, but yes, it could be a manifestation, and that is why they have that snow there and everything else.
Hmm.
I it could just be a
Yeah.
manifestation of these dreams that are inside. In fact, they have a movie out now called Harold and His Purple Crayon, which was a book I read as a child, where Harold would have a purple crayon and anything he drew kind of came to life.
Hmm.
And that was the whole thing in the book. Well, some of my favorite books when I was a kid was the Harold and the Purple Crayon, and they just had a movie drop about it, and it doesn't look like Harold from the books at all.
They
From up,
actually have that movie come like it's currently made already. Meaning
yeah,
it's okay.
they just did it. Like
Interesting.
it
Hmm.
came out like a day ago, or it's about to come out,
Hmm. That's
and
pretty
it's
cool.
not the same Harold from the books. And I'm mad that they didn't draw him. They have an actor playing him, looks nothing like the Harold from the books. All right, so I'm mad about it.
There
I'm
was a, I'm not sure if, when that book came out, but there was a, gosh, was it not Tales from the Crypt? Or maybe that was Tales from the Crypt way, way back. Back then, there was an episode of where, again, I just remember glimpses of it. There was a boy who lived with his grandparents, or again, from what I remember, and then he could manifest things into life, like anything he
Mhm.
thought or wished for, or even maybe even dreamed about actually happened. And again, I just remember pieces of it, but one of the things that how that episode ended was, I think that boy wished for the heart, like he was curious about what's inside somebody,
Mhm.
and he literally wished for like the, not wish, but manifested the inside of his grandpa, I think his heart, to literally appear. So the grandpa obviously died, and the heart was like right there, and the boy's like, oh, okay. He had no concept of um evil or good or bad or right and wrong. Again, it's kind of interesting to have that ultimate power, and who knows, those dreams and dreaming of the situation, dreaming it into reality for people who are stuck there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it could be a situation like that and everything else. Now, as for this Harold and the Purple Crayon comment, I will say that I've made that comment in the first year the show came out. If you go look in my videos, you see I've been said that. So other people saying it, I mean, really means nothing to me. All right, in all honesty. Again, you got, and I gotta, you gotta stress it. I gotta say it the way it is. When me and LMR was covering this show, and we started covering this show, we covered this show in season one. We did a
Hmm.
lot of live streams, came up with a lot of theories, talked about a lot of stuff, way before all these other YouTubers came out of the woodworks now and are covering the show. All right, so a lot of things have been said that people are saying, and the same thing happened with Game of Thrones, where I have made up a lot of theories, and then you see videos that are being made like a month from now about something I said 9 years ago, and it's new to people. Like, oh, I've never heard this before. Like I said this 9 years ago, so I can understand why the confusion can come about and everything else like that. You know what I mean? But I've made up theories and stuff like that. I've made the hair on the purple crayon remark a long time ago and everything else. We're dealing with this whole thing being some type of dream experiment and all that stuff. So, you know, it's a good possibility that these drawings are coming to light. Because I said before, when you look at when Victor first got there and this dude went crazy and killed everybody, if you look at the way the people there are killed with the chest ripped open and everything else,
Hmm.
supposedly at that time there were no monsters there
Hmm.
and everybody was just chilling outside all day long. And
Right.
then all these people got killed that way. Victor could have drew the people being killed there,
Hmm.
and as a kid said it must have been a monster who did it.
Yep.
The fact that the guy Victor thought was cool because he played puppets with them, he looked at that person as a friend, but yet he believed that this guy was the one who ripped open all these people's chests, would work with the monsters coming as friends or being depicted as friends that turn into monsters when they come and kill you.
Hmm.
So it would be a situation like that. So and all that and stuff. So it has something to do with aliens. I promise you that this has something to do with aliens. In the end, it's these aliens technology that they're using to do all this stuff with, and you'll see it when it's all said and done. I guarantee it. I ain't even worried about that. Trust me. It will be aliens in the end. Yo, everybody who disagree with me will bend the knee. You all bend the
Yeah.
knee to the Don when it's
And
all.
again, it would be relevant. This is the so-called creature. I don't know what to call it. Those aliens would be relevant to what is being discussed currently. The life outside of Earth and the technology that is out there and what it could be used for currently or studied. Um, so again, it would not be something out there. I mean, I would be unhappy if it turned out to be magic,
It ain't gonna be
because
magic.
magic technically is,
It
yeah,
ain't gonna
anyway.
be. I promise you, there's
Not,
never
yeah.
gonna be no magic wand or anybody with a magic wand doing something like that. That's never going to happen. Our boy Phil is in the building, rocking with us right now.
Awesome.
He will be here in a second. I see him in the background. We're gonna keep on going and everything else. Now Phil's rocking with us and everything else. And having a good time out here and all that good stuff. Uh yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with magic. I mean, people can believe what they want. I'm not here to tell you. I can't give you a guarantee of it, but I don't think it is, and all that. What's going on, Phil?
Fuck you, it's magic. There was this old comedian. He was actually this Joel from Mystery Science Theater 3000, and he had this whole comic skit where he's like a shitty magician, and he'd like, "Is this your card? No, fuck you, it's magic," and he'd like look in this person's head. But I definitely agree with what you're saying in the sense of, and hi, thank you, Tony, for having me in LMR. It's always awesome to see you. Stop licking me, dog. Um, not you guys. There's a dog licking me off camera. I swear it's happening. This isn't something weird, but no. I mean, I think it could be magic, but I think even if it is something like that, and it isn't aliens, which I'm more towards Tony than not about it being aliens, it is some sort of future tech that they don't know about yet. I don't get a spiritual, like, magic kind of feel from this, but I could be wrong. It's certainly a possibility. I think what's cool about this show right now is it's set up in a way that whichever direction they go, there's rationale for it. Like, you can find the strings to attach to it. I'm just hoping that you were saying this earlier, Tony. I believe it was in this stream. Maybe it was in another one. I don't need answers I don't need all the answers. And I think having some of the mysteries is great, but I do hope they learn from mystery box shows of the past and they give us some answers. Severance is the perfect example of the first season that gave us just enough while still making it go. And I hope season 3 of From gives me a feel like that. Like, I got something big, but I'm still excited for more. You guys know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
and I feel like this season is due for that, because season 1 did a decent job with that. Season 2 was a little thin on some real stuff. I want something big. I want to know, Tony, if Victor's the guy, I want to get a little hint towards that this season. I want to get
I don't know if they could give you that big of a hint. It all depends how many seasons they're gonna go with it. True. Right?
True.
So you can't give away too much. It's like I'm saying, they can't show Tabitha's body laying outside, because if they do show Tabitha's body laying outside, then it takes away all the consequence of anything that happens inside this world. Because then everyone's gonna be like, it doesn't matter if they die because we've seen her body laying on the outside. So they can't do that right now. What you got going on there, Phil?
I'm recording some vocals, so I have my little thing set up with like a little recording booth. So yeah. I'm not resetting it right now. Hi.
No, I wouldn't either. You know what I mean?
And Phil, I completely agree with you about the second season too. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, but thinking about it from perspective of time, it kind of left me hungry.
Yeah, it left you wanting more.
Yeah, it's like they made me smell this lovely thing, but can I have a bite? Like, can I actually see how it tastes? Can I see something in it?
And not meaning to drop this to another show, I had a similar feeling at the end of House of the Dragon this season, where I liked the episode, but it made me hungry for more. And I think season 2 of From could, in some ways, be a similar way of like leading up to what we're going to see explode in season 3.
This
Yeah.
has to be the big season
Yeah.
for the show.
Yeah.
Like if this show doesn't do gangbuster ratings, it could get dropped.
Mm.
So it has to be. This has to be it. Season 3 is usually the season where things get
Yeah.
get good and stuff.
Like no
like
more
that.
teasing at that point. Like this is like, yeah, something concrete. At least one thing to make us have this big puzzle piece. So then we can actually start connecting things and making, like, maybe not just finalizing theories, but maybe excluding some things and zooming in on other things.
Exactly. So something big. And again, Tony,
Mhm.
maybe not, as you said, you don't want to give too much away too soon, like the Tabitha thing, or understanding maybe if Victor is a big bad going in that direction. But I would love to see a little bit of that other side, a little bit of
You gotta give us. I see. You gotta give us something.
Yeah.
You gotta give us something, but not too much. Like Severance did it perfect.
exactly.
Right? They gave you the answers. They let you know what was going on with that chick. Right? You know what was going on with her, but it didn't end the show. It just made the show more interesting. And then you can go forward with it. I don't know if Severance is ever coming out again. I mean,
It is. The next season is being filmed. I think it's later this year or early next year.
yeah. So I think they gotta give you something, but this can't be too much. They gotta give you something though. It's gotta be something. They gotta at least get a glimpse of something. Like I don't care if it's in the distance or something. Like you gotta give me the voice on the radio. Like show me the guy who was talking on the radio. Like if he was in that cabin, show me that he has a radio connected that he could talk to him back in the cabin. Something. You got to do something there.
Dr. Deb says January 17th for Severance.
Oh, that's not bad. It's not too far away.
Oh, I can't wait.
We got Severance. We got Dexter's back in December, and we got Severance.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah,
I did not know that.
There's
Dexter? Okay, I need to
we
look
got
into
the
that.
Young Dexter show where he's young. They're doing that, and then they're doing another Dexter show with the main Dexter, Michael C. Hall, in it.
Oh, okay.
called Dexter
I have
something.
been living under a rock. Okay, I need to look that up.
Yeah, so they have people saying what's Severance. So Apple TV, go check it. Apple TV is a great service. They have great shows on there. It's a really good show. Again, it's a show you got to really watch and pay attention to.
Yeah, it's a hard show to just give a quick thing. It's a very interesting, another kind of mystery box show. Well done. A lot of actors you would know are in it, and a lot of really great actors. And I'll double what Tony's saying about Apple Plus, not just because Tony lets me log into his Apple Plus, but just because the Apple Plus is amazing. It's just got so many great shows. Shrinking is another one. If people haven't watched
Silo was good.
Silo, Ted Lasso, if you're into that.
Ted Lasso was amazing. I mean, that's not. It won those awards for a reason.
And dude, it's incredible that and I'm not being to go into much of a side, that the same guy did Ted Lasso, Shrinking, Cougar Down, and Scrubs. Bill Lawrence, he makes great fucking television shows, that dude, and funny. And they're all a little different. You know, you wouldn't know that the guy that did Scrubs is the same guy that did Ted Lasso, but then if you can feel it, you can kind of feel that same heart. But anyways, Apple TV is a really good service that is underrated and kind of gets lost because there's just so many now. But Tony, we were talking about this before. There's just so many damn good shows on that.
Yeah, I know, Taryn. You said that you wanted to pop on or something. You can call the number if you want, but if you want to have a stream and you want to talk, I know it's going to be a talk, so it'd probably be best to schedule just a stream for that talk itself, other than a quick pop in. That way you can get everything out that you really want to say, and it could be concisely said than just calling in. I think it'd probably be better to do it that way, better for everybody to understand what's going on, in my opinion. That's so.
Peripheral did get canceled, nonfiction, unfortunately.
Yeah, Peripheral did get canceled.
I was actually a big fan of that show.
Yeah, I can't believe they canceled Peripheral.
And Outer Range got canceled as well, I believe.
Outer Range got canceled, and that was a great second season. Was much better than the first, and they canceled it. Like, it's bullshit.
And that's the thing, and that's why Tony was saying this a few minutes ago about From. That's why it's really important that because there's so much analysis paralysis of so many series, and even series that normally would get a few years to kind of figure themselves out are getting canceled early. HBO series are like that. Maybe I'm a Celtics fan, so I like rubbing this in. The Winning Time Lakers series ended with the Celtics winning the championship because it got canceled because not enough people were watching it, and that's on HBO. This is, so if you're a fan of From, make sure coming into season 3, this is the year to make sure you get somebody out, like bring a friend into this series, and also Teflon TV and Fill the Issues guy to watch, and Elmar to check this stuff out. Too many LMs.
I don't know about the Changeling. I heard nothing about the Changeling, so I'm nervous about it.
Yeah, things are getting canceled all over the place because the model that they have is not sustainable for programming, and they like overextended themselves, and now we're in this like it's walking the green mile TV shows, a bunch of shows that are just facing execution.
100%. All right, let's go back to this picture here. We have a picture here of Fatima, blood in the mouth. Elamar, what's it give you vibes of? Seems like a teeth is coming out.
Yeah, I heard horror stories of women who are pregnant and they literally are losing their teeth because of the calcium and other like the connective tissue issues, because the baby there are times when baby's such a strain on the body, it depletes it literally can eat somebody from the inside, where it will deplete calcium. For some women, their hair will fall out.
Oh my God.
Bones are brittle. Again, the calcium, the baby will just suck the life out of you sometimes. So if everything is over there accelerated because we see things changing all of a sudden, and technically she couldn't be pregnant and now she is, what if this pregnancy is having, and she's like, digging in her mouth or something, what if something like that is happening to her? Like,
oh my
that
goodness.
would be just terrifying if this is actually a reality, that she's having a baby, but at what price?
LMR, do you know what's terrifying? Imagining like that happening to I'm thinking I'm a boy right now. Oh my goodness. It's horrible. The teeth are gonna fall out.
No, but again, I'm not laughing that it's happening, but it's terrifying. Like every time there's a pregnancy, it's like, oh, it's so natural. Yeah, but not for everybody. not everybody's made for that.
Yeah, that baby could be growing so fast in her body that she doesn't have time to get enough calcium and stuff, and it's just fucking her up on the inside. The rapid acceleration of growth with this baby and stuff inside.
Yeah, and here there's a comment from OW, especially if not getting enough nutrients. Yep. And they said there's no food, right? So the baby has to, if she's not eating, baby's gotta eat. It's like a little, what do you call that? Oh gosh, my brain is so tired already. Where it just lives on a host and just will suck parasite. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, like a little parasite will suck the life out of you.
Damn babies.
Yeah.
It's funny you were saying that, like the parasite. I was thinking the way you were talking about it, thinking about like Venom or Carnage, like the Spider-Man villain, tapping in and like sucking your life.
Phil, is there any way you could put your phone line on?
My thing is all messed up at the moment, so it's hard to set it up at the moment.
I'll let me see if I can do it. I'll have to see if I can do it. Terrence said he wants to call.
Johnson parasite baby. Well, we don't know. We don't know what that baby is at this point, right? I mean, then we're assuming that we know whose it is, but technically, how?
He's all the way in Great Britain, so we're gonna give him a chance to call in. Especially it's like 1 a.m. there. So anyone who has any type of let me see if I can get this thing done.
And what do you think, as Tony is setting that up, Phil, what do you think about that whole pregnancy and that scene where there's screaming? I think somebody mentioned that it may be the baby being delivered at that time. What are your thoughts about that?
It's horrifying. I agree with what Tony and I were talking a couple of weeks ago about how I do think maybe that the screams are from a different situation, but it does seem like Boyd might be being forced to watch the baby be delivered in a really horrifying way.
Where's LMR though?
Oh no, I was just grabbing water here.
No,
I'm here.
See you on the screen. Let me see.
Oh,
there you go. All right, Terry. The number is up. You give if you want to call in, give it a shot. I should be able to hear you. Again, the problem is going to be that they can't respond to you and you hear them. So we'll have to, I know it's late over there in UK. 518-290-0848 if you want to call in.
Yeah,
It's like
I would set up, but I'd have to unplug a bunch of stuff and plug a bunch.
no, don't do all that. You got to do your thing. It's going to give them a chance to call in and stuff like that.
And yes, Carla, I'm doing the straws. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm like a day or two away if I keep my damn mouth shut a little bit.
All right. Take this call.
Call from Taryn.
What's going on, Taryn?
Hey, Tony. Thanks so much for getting the phone line onto me. That's very nice of you. I know it's not easy midstream. I hope everyone can hear me because, my I don't know, I've called in the past and maybe my phone's a bit old or something, but the connection isn't always great.
No,
but,
it sounds really good right now.
Awesome. So I just wanted to tell you, Tony, that I think I have solved a major part of what's coming up in season 3.
Let's go.
I'm going to drop a link in the chat about in a bit about this. But I wanted to say, I think the reason why Julie and Ethan opened the door to the monster, and the reason why all these people from all these different houses are outside at night, is because there's an eclipse just before sunset. So Julie and Ethan, they're in the house, they're chilling. Maybe they're not near any windows. They hear a knock on the door. It's daytime, so they go and open it, and suddenly it's night because there's an eclipse, and the old lady grandma monster's there. Everyone's at the barn doing their thing, and suddenly an eclipse comes, and the monsters are surrounding them. It's an ambush. That's why Donna says the game is rigged. And in Victor's room, there is a picture that looks like an eclipse. And I think people have mentioned this before. So I think this is the perfect time to reveal the eclipse. And just posting now in the chat if anyone wants to look at the picture from Victor's room where you can see the eclipse. So that resolves that aspect for me. The only other solution is if the monsters evolve to be able to perfectly imitate people's voices, and that makes Julie and Ethan open the door. But if it was nighttime, surely they would look through the window to see who's there, and they open the door super slowly if it's a monster pretending to be Tabitha outside in trouble. They open it super casually and slowly, and they look so shocked when they see the monster there. It's like, oh, surprise, there's a monster. If you're opening the door at night, why would you be surprised? So I think it's a daytime eclipse, and that is the solution as to why everyone's caught out at night, why it's an ambush, why the game is rigged, why Julie and Ethan open the door at night. That's basically it in terms of that. I could go on, but I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time. So thank you, Tony. Would you like to chat further, or shall I drop off?
I'll give you an answer, and then they can't. You won't be able to hear that answer, so I want you to hear what they have to say and stuff. But
sure.
I like the eclipse idea. I think it's a really good idea. It makes a lot of sense of how it would go, how it could go, and how all of a sudden it depends how fast this eclipse actually occurs too. It would have to be a pretty fast eclipse. It can't be a normal eclipse like we get here where it takes hours and hours for it to come. You could see it coming. It would have to be an eclipse that just goes like the weather. Like the weather goes, like the weather came really fast. It would have to be something like that.
Total eclipse of the heart.
Mm-hmm. I think eclipses only last 6 minutes maximum in the real world, but because this is from land and the eclipse happens at a very specific time, I feel I get the sense that that this eclipse will be like a sort of artificial one, one that's controlled by Fromland. So it will last a while, and I think that's why the game is supposedly rigged. The other thing I think happens is I think that it's Mrs. Liu who dies because there's a plate that's being used as part of the funeral,
mm-hmm.
And isn't it interesting that on the shrine for Mr. Liu in Mrs. Liu's house, there is also a commemorative plate with his face on it. So I think it's Mrs. Liu who dies, but I think the person screaming in the barn is actually Fatima, You see, I think Fatima has an accelerated pregnancy. That's why her teeth start falling out, because like the baby's sucking up all the nutrients and there isn't much food around. And then I actually think the nurse monster cuts Fatima open and steals her baby. And that's why Boyd is saying, "You're so strong, you're so strong." And isn't it interesting that Fatima's surname is Rostami, which is a direct reference to the legend of Rostam, an Iranian mythological figure who is known to have, like, he's famous for having been birthed through a cesarean section where the mother was cut open. And in fact, in Iran, a cesarean birth is known as a Rostam Zad. So I think that's telling us that Fatima is going to have a cesarean-based birth. And wouldn't it be interesting if it was the monsters? And I think that's why they send a second ambulance, because after Fatima's cut open, she should die, right? So maybe they sent the second ambulance instead of a police car because they need to make it believable that Fatima survived the surgery. You know, they have an ambulance there with stitches, with extra blood, with machines and all that stuff. So I think that's why they send a second ambulance. Sorry.
You think that's why the from town brought in the second ambulance to make sure she survives?
Yeah, potentially. But also I think to tempt people outside to try and get the ambulance, maybe. But I think for the writers anyway, the writers have inserted a second ambulance for this purpose. I don't know if Fromland, whoever controls Fromland, has done that for that purpose, but I think that's why the writers have inserted a second ambulance, because they need it to be believable that Fatima survived.
All right. I think that it's a good possibility. Could be Fatima down there. The birth, the ripping the baby out. I've heard it before from people, and I would never say that it's not. You know what I mean? It makes perfect sense that it would be. You know, especially with the nurse monster, and you have the nurse monster do the pulling of the baby out. I also think I don't think it's going to be Sarah. I don't think it's going to be Sarah. It seems like someone that Boyd cares about. So Fatima would be number one on the hit list for me to be inside the barn. That would make him say that. And I think that the overdub that we heard is just an overdub, just to throw people off of who it actually is.
Sure. Well, thank you, Tony. I'll leave you with one last thought before I hang up, which is I think that Jim and Kenny, the stone buildings they see are an 1860s or early 70s version of Fromland. We will meet Caroline Dye, who was a hoodoo root doctor from that time, who will have a magical battle with the boogeyman. And I think we'll also meet Oke Ito, who's a Japanese woman, who is the first Japanese woman to ever be buried in America. And I think we'll also meet Crazy Horse and a whole bunch of other characters, but I won't go into it. So I just wanted to leave you with that.
All right, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate the
Thanks
call.
very much, Tony. Take it easy, man.
All right,
bye.
man. Have a good one, brother. You know,
Great call.
It's a great call. He always gets me, but then he tracks me away with the stuff at the end. Like I'm with him for the first two things. I could see it happening, but then you go into Crazy Horse and stuff like that. Now you have that.
He didn't mention Bigfoot this time. I'm disappointed.
He said Boogeyman though.
Oh, Boogeyman. Okay.
Yeah, so that's all. I can't see that, but the other stuff is
Great
really
points. Yeah.
It could be it would have to be, if it's going to be an eclipse, it has to be a quick eclipse. And we've seen the monsters, they're asleep. They do start to wake up for some reason when Victor and them are down there. I don't know if it's turning nighttime. So maybe they are somehow solar powered, so to say, that when the sun goes down, that's when they are awakened. Or unless they're being controlled by something that can awaken them whenever they want.
Yeah, in those caves, I mean, when they got out, it was daylight, right? When they managed to get out of the caves and escape them. So
it seemed like it was daylight. They didn't come outside after them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so something woke them up. But that is a great point about the eclipse, and it would be relevant to what we experience.
But if it was going to catch the town off guard, like, so I think what he's saying is that everyone's going about their day, everything is fine. All of a sudden, eclipse happens, and then the monsters are there.
Yeah,
it would take time if it's an eclipse from what we just seen, and we just had one out here, and I
Mhm.
got the glasses to look at it. It took time for that moon to get over that sun to when you could actually starting to dark outwards of complete blackout. You know what I mean? For it to be a complete blackout in the eclipse, it takes a while
Hmm.
for that to get there. So it would have to be, and I'm not saying it can't be, it would have to be like this land is forcing that moon over there extremely fast.
Right.
Because those monsters will
And it
have to
must be a complete one too, where it's so
it would have
dark.
to
It's
be a complete,
completely
it have to
dark.
be a
Yeah.
complete eclipse. It would have to happen really
Mhm.
fast that it caught people off guard. And these monsters will have to be like close by. Because
Yeah.
it takes them a little bit to get from that hill down. You know what I mean? They would have to
Yeah.
be somewhere else, like come from under the ground or something, like busting up like
Yeah.
zombies. and shit.
Like
Like,
those
ah,
cicadas that we
motherfuckers
had.
got surprise, we got your ass. Or
Right.
hiding out in the barn or something, in a tree or something. They
Come
be
up in
hiding out.
elevators or something like that.
Yeah, it would
The
have to be
trees
like that,
just
or the
popping up.
rooftop, jumping down or something like that, because it would take time for them to get down. But
Hmm.
it is valid, and I think that it's a really good theory.
Mhm.
The Tabitha theory, I concur with it because I've already said that I thought it was Tabitha in there myself. So I'm with him on that one. So I'm all cool with that, her being inside there, and I'm removing the baby from her. I think that's a good chance of that going down there like that. It does sound like Sarah in there, but I just think that it's just being manipulated. The voices in there being
Mhm.
manipulated to make you think it's someone else who was actually something else. And
Yeah,
all
and
that.
I think the eclipse could be an interesting thing to play with. Other shows have done it. Heroes did it pretty well with even in one of their shittier seasons of when the eclipse happened, people manifested powers. When the eclipse happened again, they lost their powers. So I could see something interesting happen, but I agree it would have to be. But I mean, that would fit in if Fatima's pregnancy is an enhanced speed, like a quick. I'm so horrible. I was going to say it like an animal, like a gestation period. I don't know what it's called for humans,
Mhm.
but isn't that what it's called in animals, like a gestation period or something? But anyways, like
Mhm.
that period is enhanced. Everything could be pick up speed like that, and the eclipse could be something that happens in a moment, But to your point, Tony, unless the bottle trees just open up and they all just start piling out,
Right.
which could be an interesting visual of which they just suddenly start. Every tree opens up, and then the nightmare creatures start coming out in droves. It would take a while for them to actually get there.
Yeah, that would be the whole thing. You know what I mean? It would have to be. They'd have to be on them, because if it's something like that, then it would have to be right. It would have to be on them quick.
And also, since they are able to, whoever's on the outside, they can manipulate everything. Technically, we don't know how that whole thing works over there, as far as the weather and.
If it's a Truman Showish type situation, they could turn the knob and move.
Yeah, there we go.
Turn the other knob and have the rain.
The only thing missing is the ads, right? Like, oh, this is the cereal. You can get it.
They can have all that stuff.
Right.
Howdy, neighbor, and good night. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It could be a situation. Turn this knob, here comes the storm. Turn this other knob, turn it in, make it cold so it snows on them. Turn this whole situation. It could all be a situation like that. The only thing that would be hard to explain with that is the soil not working anymore.
Yeah.
The soil being poisoned would be.
That would be only like bending reality versus actually turning that knob physically, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about monsters, the way, and I'm gonna, I guess, call them monsters at this point, we don't see, at least maybe if I missed it, we don't see them doing the jump scare with the teeth and everything at them. They're just there, and even that grandma could have reached to grab Ethan's hand, right? She could have done that. She didn't. They're not so speedy. So again, I hope there is a reason for that, and that they're not just being inconsistent with how the monsters are behaving. Maybe there are different kinds of monsters.
You make a good point, Elamar, because I wonder that too. The monster that got Father Coptree is very different than any other monster we've seen. It seemed like he had Mr. Fantastic stretchy speed, and he came from
Yeah,
behind him and
exactly.
stretched his arm out a little
Right.
bit and got him. Like, I'd have to rewatch that scene, but I remember it being like, whoa, that was a big long
Yeah.
reach, like Michael Jordan at the end of Space Jam. Like, he's stretching out the arm to dunk it,
Right.
and he just gets him a little bit like that. So I wonder, maybe there are like Pikmin, there's like different kinds that do different things. Some of the nightmare creatures are a little bit different style. You know, some are
Yeah.
Zergy, some are Protossy.
So I wonder if it's just the transition of them in general. Now they're going to be different, like we saw them being different in season 2, or what do you think? Is it just because they're different, they don't need to do what they did before? Like they don't need to kill them because there are other ways of killing them of the residents?
It's all comes down to why they're killing them. Like, what are they killing them for? Again, all we see is that the body parts are being harvested.
Yeah.
That's all we know. They're not killing them for substance. We've seen inside the bodies. The bodies all have are mummified. Is what when they came on the channel, the nurse Chrissy, when she came on the channel, she said that the bodies were mummified, so all turned to stone inside. Right,
or dried out, or
yes,
in some way. Yeah.
The word she used was mummified, so I'm just gonna go with that. So it was a mummy in there. Everything was turned to stone inside of them. So we know that they're not using this as some type of substance or anything, not eating them or anything like that. They're just killing them. If they're just killing them from sport, it doesn't seem like it. It's because they're taking specific organs and they're doing the same type of kill on everybody. So it has to have something to do with organ harvesting. I mean, it's the only way to go. And we don't know if they're the ones harvesting the organs. We have no idea. We just know that they're actually killing. We have not seen them walk away with an arm full of fucking organs, walk off like, oh yeah.
In a little baggie, right?
Yeah, they didn't have a knapsack and nothing on them, a doggy bag.
Oh, here's somebody's liver.
Yeah,
and technically they really wanted to get them for their organs. It's easy picking, like why they're fast, or at least in season 1 they were fast and really aggressive. So I don't think it's just that. It's that, but they're picking and choosing who goes first and in what order.
All right, so Taryn, he's comment. He says that the monsters can teleport when you're not looking at them. You see Smiley do it when Ellis jumps from the roof. I gotta go back. I've never seen, me personally, I haven't seen any teleporting at I haven't seen it. Have you noticed anything about them teleporting?
I haven't noticed anything like that.
Because they walk awfully
They're
slow,
fast sometimes when they want to be fast.
Yeah, I think when they do that Jason shit, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden Jason's here and you turn around, you run, then all of a sudden he's behind you. I think that's just a classic horror trope that they do. You know what I mean?
What's interesting about that, Tony, is because it is, but in the Nightmare on Elm Street, not Nightmare, so Friday the 13th video game that came out a couple of years ago, because of that factor, they had to give Jason teleporting ability. That's one of the powers. Like when you get to play as Jason, you can teleport around and to anywhere and behind people like that, just for that very reason, because it's the only way they could explain it. But you're right, it's a trope in horror movies that the guy is suddenly behind you. That's why it works so well in Nightmare on Elm Street, because he's in your dreams, so he can just kind of flash anywhere. But to your point, Tony, is it just something that's just happening because of the trope of the horror aspect, or is there really some teleporting going on, or is there just enough of them to be able to spread around to make it seem like they're everywhere at all times?
Yeah, that's I don't see. I think that he was inside the thing. He came up. I think Ellis jumped. He probably came up from behind, jumped himself, and there he is. I mean, the grandma monster, we've seen them climb on top of stuff before. We never seen them, but we heard them there.
That would be a scene.
Grandma monster was up on the second floor when she killed the girl and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about the teleporting myself, especially when you turn your head, because they walk so damn. So why don't they teleport their ass back into them caves? They just walking and they just turn around and start walking away, and then when you blink, they just gone. They say, "He's not looking. Do it now." I don't know. I don't know if they teleport. I think it's just a trope that they're using a horror trope with it and stuff. I think that's just something that they do in horror movies. Me personally, maybe they are.
And it would be so. And I really don't like the whole
Maybe unstoppable.
teleporting thing, because
Maybe
that's kind. Yeah, that's kind of lazy too. If they actually do that, because not just lazy, but it's convenient when they need to have the convenience of it.
Granny doing that parkour.
Yeah, I can just imagine her like with her cane, if she had a cane, doing that in her skirts.
Climbing the walls and stuff like that.
Yeah, doing flips and shit off the wall and everything.
And then just like fixing her whatever she had.
No,
on her
we
head.
all come from Game of Thrones with Littlefinger and teleporting, so there's not too much
True.
teleporting.
We have seen in the Game of Thrones multiple times. People get around that continent.
Yeah, if they're getting around Game of Thrones, there's no teleporting. There's no teleporting here.
They get around that continent really fast.
Faster. The teleporter improves as the seasons go on too, Tony. But by season 7 and 8, they're teleporting.
They perfected it at that point, right?
Exactly. They have they're like a portal gun at that point.
Nothing changes in there but their speed. That's the only thing that changed.
Exactly. I just think of the ghosts in Luigi's Mansion. The monsters are probably playing a game called Grandmother's Footsteps, says Taryn, where you can only walk when people are looking at you. I mean, is that what that game was? I forget what we called it.
It was called Red Light, Green Light.
Red Light, Green Light.
Red Light, Green Light, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I know you haven't watched it, Tony, but they play that in Squid Game.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That was a fun scene.
Master of Red Light, Green Light.
You need to watch. I still think you should watch Squid Game. I think you might like it.
I was a master.
I enjoyed it. It was
interesting, right?
It was fun. It was very interesting. I'm not. Is there season 2? If there's season 2,
it's coming in December or January.
I'll wait for people to watch it, because I waited for people to give me their opinion in general for Squid Game. And I don't like wasting my time. And I heard enough good reviews, then I watched it. I'm gonna do the same thing for season 2.
It's Running Man-ish, Tony. It's a little bit like the Running Man.
All right, I love the Running Man.
It's a little Running Man-ish.
I love the Running Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only people are there. It's gonna be. I'm telling you, there are aliens in this show. They have been captured by people, and the aliens are the ones who are communicating with Sarah, who are caught too, that want to escape. They've captured.
It's like, I want to go home, right?
Yeah,
Just want to go home.
It's like E.T.
I just said it's E.T. Yeah, we just said that at the same time. Thanks. You owe me a Coke.
They captured these aliens. They're using the aliens' technology. They're doing experimentation on them, and that's how all this stuff is able to happen. Again, this is not far-fetched. They say in Roswell they have a name for the alien. Everything in Roswell. Roswell, I forgot the alien's name.
Yeah, it's like Harry or something. There is a specific
crazy name. They have a name, but in Roswell they're supposed to have a alien there who's done all these computer and done everything for them, and all this technology and all this stuff, and even Kevlar is supposed to have come from alien technology, and all these suits and all these microchips and everything else is all from alien technology. That's supposedly
nanotechnology and stuff like that.
You know, they had the ship and everything and reverse engineered the ship the best they could, and that's how they got it. You know,
and it's best released slowly, not everything at once. Just give it to the public little by little. Take a couple decades for it, right?
Well, usually, if you look at it, you know what I mean. If you look at the whole thing, most of these things always come out from the military first, and then after the military uses it, then it gets exposed, then they sell it to the public.
Yeah,
you know,
military first, Batman second, and then the public gets it.
And then you get it after that, after the military
and Batman
that does all the stuff they need to do with it and everything else. You know,
priorities, right?
Yeah, exactly. Batman needs that stuff first, and then the general public can get it.
And that is what it is and stuff and all that. So yeah, you'll see. Listen, I'm confident in it. I'm not even worried about it. I'm gonna tell you. I just want it to happen. I want this to happen more than I want Stannis to have wrote the pink letter. I'm at that point in my life right now with this. And that's how determined I am.
Wait, you said that you want this more than that?
Yes,
wow.
I do. Okay. And I really, because I made the pink letter theory up 9-some years ago. Still hasn't been proved false and everything, but I am still anxious on that one. But I want this alien thing to be right more.
Wow.
And I want that damn pink letter.
That means a lot.
It does mean a lot. That does mean a lot.
For those who know, yeah, we know.
People
Wow.
want you to eat that chip. I think people want you to eat the chip more than they want you to be wrong, Tony.
I think that's what I think. People really just want me to eat the chip so bad
Yeah.
that they switch with everything else.
Yeah, they're clouded. Even if they could think it was aliens, their thoughts are clouded with wanting you to burn your mouth off.
But Jackie C is saying, is Ass Man like Batman?
No,
is it superhero costume modeled after Big? No, Ass Man ain't like Batman.
Ass Man is the K-Man.
Yeah, I'm the Ass Man tonight.
You're the ass. You're the ass. No, I'm the ass man.
I'm the Ass Man.
Serenity now. Serenity now.
According to the state of New York, I'm the Ass Man.
Oh, I'm the ass man. No, I'm the ass man.
Wait, Tony, is that your plate actually?
Huh?
You said I'm just wondering if that's actually your plate, like your.
Yeah, that's my plate. That's what's on my car, Ass Man.
Okay,
Ass Man.
that's cute.
Oh, my car plate's Ass Man. I'm the Ass Man.
That's cute.
No,
Right?
yeah.
Nice.
But if y'all Ass Man
No
is an episode, it's
scoop
on Seinfeld. You go, if
Seinfeld.
people don't know, it's a Seinfeld episode. You go watch the episode.
Yeah.
Very funny episode. One is that's Fusilli Jerry is the name of the episode.
Mhm.
It's Fusilli Jerry, because Kramer makes Jerry out of Fusilli because he's silly, and that's the whole. And the Ass Man.
Someone ends up sitting on it. The ass man actually sits on it at the end, doesn't he? Or something that goes up, it goes up his ass or some shit.
Someone does, but it's not going to give it away.
Funny.
I'm sorry, I'm giving away the Seinfeld conclusion.
See, I've watched it a couple of times, and I did not remember that part
Oh,
for
yeah.
whatever. It's been a long time.
Had to be corkscrew pasta.
That was Seinfeld at its prime, like around the junior mint stuff and the marine biologist shit.
Eric has a good question. Do you see this question?
Let me see what the fuck's Eric got to say.
If aliens were, then where is Tabitha? Is that's the question right there? Again, so I'm saying like this. 1 in a million shot, Doc. 1 in a million.
1 in a million.
I'm saying that when you hear Sarah talking, right? If you check my video today that I just put out, you can see what I'm saying in it. But when you hear Sarah talking to the voices that told her to kill the boy, you see her after she gets the message on her arm, she immediately looks up and sees Ethan. So she thinks that it means to kill Ethan. She attempts to kill Ethan, and then she does not successful with it. Father Cartry gets her. He puts her in the basement. He says, "Why did you do it?" And she says that they said that we could all go home if I killed the boy. And she said, he goes, "Why did you believe them?" And that's when she says, "Oh, because they showed me stuff. They told me stuff that they could have known. They told me that the 2 cars are coming, and go outside and take a look, and they were there. They told me all these things like that." So what I'm saying is that the other boy that we see, and if it's not Ethan, and I think it's wrong, then the other boy that we see is the boy in white. So I think they mean to kill the boy in white, but I don't think the boy in white is actually killable. I think he's the avatar of Victor. So actually, you must kill Victor that kills the boy in white that allows everybody to go home. So Victor is the one who has to die in the end. Victor is the boy in white, the one and the same. So you have to kill Victor to kill the boy in white, and then everybody gets to go home. I think that Victor and them are the ones. I'm telling you that Victor running this experiment on the outside. That picture of Victor outside that we talked about earlier, he's in on this damn experiment and everything else. He's the one doing it. So you got to kill him. And I think they tell Sarah that they're captured there too. They're just like them. They're trapped and they want to go home also.
So technically, if Victor would have died back then, it would all be kind of like not happening. But because Victor survived, he's like pulling them into this, and he has died for everybody.
I think that they captured these aliens, used their technology to create the wormhole along with Jade's thing, and they're experimenting with their stuff, with their genes and everything else on these people inside of this place that's right here. I think that's where it goes. So if you ask me where is Tabitha, again, we've seen people in 2 different places many a times. Like I said, we've seen those people Julie and them chained up against the wall. but we seen them in the bed while they were chained up against the wall at the same exact time. So we've already seen people in 2 different places at the same time. Tabitha, most likely the same thing. The only thing that makes sense with Tabitha is that when she got 2 things, she either got pushed out the window and woke up, and that's what snapped her out of this whole situation, and she's over there, or when she got pushed out the window, she went through some type of wormhole that put her back in the outside world. There's nothing else that it could be. It's one of those 2 things that happened, because there's no way that she hit that floor, then all of a sudden she's out there. So it's one of 2 things. That's the only way I could see with Tabitha. And that body of hers in there could easily be a clone that was in there that fell out the window, or it could be, like the Peripheral. Like we talked about that show, and you seen in the Peripheral that show, they would take their consciousness and put it inside of a body that was in the future. Correct, Phil? That's what it was, right?
Yeah, something like. Tony, I have an odd question for you around this subject now. Do you think what happened to Tabitha is what the boy in white wanted to happen? Or did he expect her to snap into that other place, or did that happen beyond his power? Did he want to kill her and actually somehow she fell through a portal, or did he push her through that portal on purpose? What's kind of your take on
it could go either way. You know what I mean? It can go either she tried to kill her and she accidentally fell through the portal, or
he was trying to put her there. Like I think that's a big question as we get into what is the boy in white really the villain of all of this? Like, is it depending on like if he did someone else step in and sort of save Tabitha in that moment and throw her through use a Star Trek transporter system?
Yeah.
And one other thing that you were talking about, like with the Victor, the boy in white creating a universe. Again, there's a Star Trek episode where I think it's like Riker and Geordi and Worf are stuck on this planet where the whole universe is created by a lonely alien that just keeps them there in this loop in a hotel. And it comes off as a holodeck episode, but it's not. It's actually this I think it's like a boy that it created the whole thing because his parents disappeared and he wanted to make friends. So, and they ended up getting stuck there. So that's another sort of a sci-fi sort of not the same exact thing, but similar to what I think you're implying.
Yeah, no, it's not far-fetched. It could be going down like that. We'll see in the end how it runs itself and everything else, but I think it's a good possibility that that's what it's going to be. And I know that people are going to be upset about it if it doesn't go the way they want it to fall and say, "Oh, yeah, this is terrible if it's aliens." It ain't gonna... Listen, if you enjoy the show, don't worry about what caused the show.
Right.
Enjoy it for what it is.
Tony, as much as you think and believe in our high percentage on its aliens and don't want to eat the chip, if it's not aliens, but it's still a satisfying conclusion, you're not going to be upset.
No, of course not. If it's not aliens, I'm not going to get mad at all. This is just my thoughts. And if I'm not writing the show. So if it turns out that this thing turns out to be some magical stuff, I'll be like, wow, I didn't see that coming. I really
you just want it to be good.
That.
We just all want it to be good.
Yeah,
that is completely right.
I would have. I'm not emotionally invested in this. I don't want to say this.
So you're looking forward to that chip, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm not emotionally invested in it. I'm not. I don't wake up every day thinking about From. You know what I mean, and everything else. I'm gonna wake up like chip. God damn it! No, I don't do that. You know what I mean?
About it.
You're getting ready.
This is fun for me, and I have fun doing this and stuff. And I've been wrong many a times. But I've been right more than I've been wrong. And from what I've seen, this is what it's going to be. We'll find out soon enough and everything. Karen, you got a question? Go ahead, answer. Put it in the chat.
Yeah, you got it.
And the thing about that you both mentioned, same thing for me. I want it to be written well and end well. I mean, even if, let's say, I have a theory that I want it to be whatever this is, but if it's executed poorly, that's not good. I would have rather for it to be whatever else I have not thought of, but been done to the way of I'm just like at awe and just loving it.
100%. I think everyone and their mother had a different theory about how Better Call Saul would end. No one kind of predicted exactly what would happen, but we were all satisfied.
Yeah.
Most people were satisfied.
I said he was going to go to jail, though. I said it.
Yeah.
I said it from the Waterworks episode because I said it was 2 episodes away, the Waterworks episode. And if you go on the Monopoly board, 2 steps from there is go to jail.
It's going to be jail. Yeah, absolutely.
So I said that. So I know how he go to jail, but I said he go to jail, and I said that he had to go to jail because no one else in the whole Breaking Bad series went to jail. Someone's got to go to jail, so it's the lawyer gets to go to jail.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
all right, Terrence says if the original beings on the show come from space in meteors, but are represented as fallen angels, would you still consider that aliens? I mean, if they come from outer space, it doesn't matter what they look like.
That's a foreign body. That could be alien.
They come from outer space. Extraterrestrial means outside of this atmosphere. They're aliens.
At minimum, that's
you know, Thor looks like a human being in the show, but he's a goddamn alien. Superman looks like a human being, but he's an alien. Right? So it's not what they look like, it's where they come from that dictates whether. So if they come from anything that comes from outside of the atmosphere is an alien.
You might get a push with that, like half a chip.
That's not a push. That's a tooth.
Yeah. Tony can lick the chip. If not, he said chip, just lick the chip.
Are you saying they have to be blue or green in order to be alien? Are you saying that the people
maybe? I don't know. I feel like
here?
I feel like there might be a push in a situation like that if it ends up being an angel outer body and not actually from like somehow through Earth's history, living like an our atmosphere thing rather than an alien creature. I feel like it's a conversation we need to have that maybe you get a lick of the chip.
No, that's not a lick of a chip. That's what I'm right. If it's anything outside the atmosphere is the technical term. It's an alien.
Fair.
So originated, right? If it originated somewhere out there.
Yeah, if you live on the moon, you can observe the Earth all you want, and you come to the planet, you're an alien. Superman is from Krypton. He's an alien.
Okay.
They call him the alien.
Origination outside, not like we're on Earth, left, and came back. Not like that.
Yeah,
meaning that they were created out there.
If you were born on this planet and then you leave, you're not an alien.
Right.
But if you have sex with a woman that's an alien, have a baby, that baby is alien.
It's an alien. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We
got it laid out.
We have to define. It's a bet. We have to define the terms.
The perimeters of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's outside the atmosphere. If it's outside the atmosphere, it's considered an alien. If it's God, God is an alien. It's like the gods, whether it's Thor, the Norse gods, or anything else like that. They're all aliens. They're from a different universe, different dimension, and not from this planet. They're aliens. That's what it is.
Now, if it's revealed that we technically are aliens, and just like we're planted here, and it just something happens.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go with the human beings aliens, because we probably are, but I'm not gonna say that. If it's a human, say, well, we are. No, I would be wrong. I would eat the chip and call it a day. It would be a done deal. But I'm not going to be wrong. I'm not going to have to eat the chip. It is what it is. I already know. Y'all know. Y'all going to know. And that's what we're going to be. So it's going to be what it's going to be, people. You know what I mean? So that's what it. I mean, the original beings on the show coming from space meteors. I mean, the fact that you're saying they're coming from space. Oh, I don't know what you're saying. So are you saying that the DNA from this being you're saying this is a Mork from Ork situation where that meteor carried the body of someone inside, crash landed on the planet, and then they were born. Then they're aliens.
Nino. Like, is Mork and Mindy's kid an alien? Like, they have a kid.
They do. Does he have Mork's powers? He does, right?
I think he gets Mork's powers, right? Doesn't he?
Yeah, I would have to say he's half and half. He's half alien, half human. He's both.
I think he does. I think he gets Mork's powers.
He splits the difference. I think he does too. He splits the difference more, I think he's both. I think he's part alien, and he's got alien DNA, and he's got DNA.
Am I making that up? Do they have a kid? Do they? I
remember like a grown-up child, but
because is Jonathan Winters? Did he end up being their kid?
Jonathan Winters, I think, was the kid. I don't know how she gave birth to that guy,
but I know he was in the final seasons. But
I think that's what it was. In all that situation, it is what it is and stuff like that.
Nonfiction.
No, it's so again. I'll answer this.
Okay, is Invincible an alien, Tony?
Beings from Earth, but a different Earth duality. If it's a different Earth, then it's outside of our atmosphere. That makes it an alien. that's what it is, right?
Is it a different dimension?
if it's
Interdimensional?
in a
Yeah.
different dimension, it's
Yeah.
it's an alien.
Yeah.
No,
It's an
now that-
alien Earth.
That's it. That's just what it is. Outside the atmosphere, technical term. So I got to call my daughter. She keeps hitting me up, so I got to hit her up. So I'm gonna have to end the stream and everything. I gotta make this call now.
Invincible and
Sounds
alien though, Tony, right? Because he has the powers.
Of course, he's alien,
I mean, he's half.
and
I
he's
guess.
part human too. He's both.
Yeah, that's true.
He's both and everything. All right. Let me thank, obviously, Elamar, Phil,
Thank you.
and
It's
all
been a
you on the
pleasure.
chat for joining us and everything else. We're here every Wednesday. We'll be back next Wednesday. I'll try to go a little longer. I mean, we did do almost 2 and a
Oh,
half.
yeah,
hours.
you guys were on 2 hours. So.
Yeah, so it's not bad and everything else. If you like the way to do this, please thumbs up, to spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is.